broadcast time, that one felt much better. I'm going to keep that one and cut this little bit out right here. Tim, can you answer me a question real quick?
Sure.
Cold pizza or hot pizza?
Cold. No, what the fuck? Hot, 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 hot.
I don't know who to trust anymore. What's fucking...
No, I do not do the cold pizza thing, ever.
Okay. Whoa. You got mix-ups of your own.
I mix myself up.
Alright, so wait.
I do not like cold pizza.
Cold pizza or hot pizza? Which one was it?
Hot.
Hot pizza. Thick crust or thin crust?
Hand tossed, technically. I like all three, though, but I prefer hand tossed.
Traditional, like you know, pizza marinara style sauce or some kind of weird sauce?
No, I like marinara. Although I like the weird stuff too. I do the barbecue as well as the Alfredo thing as well.
Pepperoni.
I do extra sauce when I do the app. When I put in my Domino's pizza order, I always request extra sauce so the cheese doesn't burn.
That's a good call. Pepperonis or no?
Sure.
Pepperoni.
I mean, honestly, pepperonis don't do a whole lot for me. I just put them on because I think they complement the mushroom.
Red crushed pepper or no?
Yes.
Sonic Fox or Quan Chi?
Quan Chi.
Man. It's an interesting take. I was thinking about that myself when I was trying to decide. Quan Chi's. I read the chat while we were recording. I gotta not do that. You guys are trolls. Thanks for joining us on the Warrior Shrine. It was that was how we start out every show. There's nothing weird that just happened. We're gonna talk about some things in this episode. Some things that we haven't talked about yet. I feel kind of like this episode is a two-parter, the second part of a two-tale story, and we ended on like the most perfect of cliffhangers last time, but we didn't know it was a cliffhanger, which might make it even better of a cliffhanger. So much optimism in our last episode about the situation with Mortal Kombat 11 custom variations. And I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I came down on the side that we were going to get those things too. I made that assumption. I made the choice to make the assumption, and you can hear it. I was not as confident as you guys were, but I still gave them the benefit of the doubt for it. Turned out to be a bad idea. It was just like a week or so ago now that they announced custom variations are not tournament legal, and almost, I don't know which is worse, that or saying that the only competitive variations, or there will only be 2 competitive variations that ship with the game, down from MKX's 3. Now, I know, as well as anyone does, that most MKX variations were bunk, right? Like, come on, there's a fucking ton of them. Not most, but like a lot of them were, junk. They weren't trash. They weren't that good.
I don't know. I don't necessarily stand on that.
No,
on that corner.
I mean, it's not something that you can generalize, and I am generalizing. But the point that I'm trying to make is that there's 2. There's only 2 that we get to choose from with each character, and we also don't know which variations those are, what's going to be in them, what they're going to be made up of, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of the ones, there's a lot of things about the beta that didn't leave a lot of people happy, so it's kind of fun to get to reroll, get to try that again and get a new hand, but just this close to release, casting that much unknown onto the game caught me by surprise really fast. Like that, coupled with the changes on mobility that's going to come with the game at release, the changes to movesets, big changes to movesets, like behavioral differences, additional abilities being added that weren't in the beta, It's a whole different video game, so it's really hard for me to like get a feel for how I like to play this game, and therefore what characters to watch whenever we do watch characters, like streams and stuff, and things to look for. It helped. Of course it helped. But, you know, that also, on the other hand, we don't know what moves we see on the streams are going to be tournament legal, and which are going to be dick sticks. And the last thing I wanted with this game was dick sticks. I hated that so much about Injustice. It was obvious. It was honestly the biggest downside for me in general, was like this whole you know, bag full of content, this whole list of content that I didn't have access to in that game because of choice, but also because of randomness. Like, you know, a lot of people didn't have access to the dick stick. That was fucked up. But in this game, like, now it seems like it's going to be, you don't have access to it just because it's not tournament legal. Which either way, that's still a bummer, man. That's still a big slice of the game that I'm buying that I'm not paying for. And when I think about that, like the game that I'm buying, the $60 that I'm spending, and it's not on, and I'm getting, you know, fewer variations than did MKX, fewer characters that I'm excited to play than an MKX. Like here, right at the end, it was a big punch in the gut. It kind of knocked the wind out of me for a little bit, and I'm still trying to, you know, hobble back up to my feet about it and not be too much of a piss baby. Like, I don't want to fucking be a piss baby. Which is why I wish they just would have said this stuff sooner. I could have, you know, everyone could have made the adjustment by the time the game came out and been happier with it. But that's where I'm standing with the variations, like fucking, just getting knocked in the face so hard by it. And, you know, it came up a little bit on the Nethercast, not on this episode, on the last episode, just a little bit. But I mean, I obviously, like, those guys aren't the people that I'm talking about here and the people that we're talking about. And I made the point of trying to point out, like, this is not something that affects tournament players. This is something that affects competitive players. And there's a difference, because I'm never going to be a tournament player ever, but I am a competitive player. And there's a lot of people that are competitive players in the same way that I am. People that play in ranked, people that want to play the game that the developers designate, this is the balanced area. This is the competitively fair area. And that part of the game that they designated just got a lot smaller all of a sudden. And coming this close to release, it's just, it like I said, it's just a big blow to me. But that's how I'm feeling about it. What about you, Tip?
I mean, there was quite a bit wrong with what happened with the whole announcement, honestly. First of all, like you said, to reiterate, waiting so long to tell us that we were getting nothing was a very bad strategy. I have speculations on why it happened the way it did, but that was really bad for fan morale. The other problem was it still wasn't super clear. It's like, okay, we know we're not getting custom variations. What are we getting? And we still didn't really know at the time of the announcement from Game Informer. It wasn't really, at least for myself, I didn't know everyone was getting 2 standard variations until the combat cast afterwards. So before that, I was like, okay, are some characters getting 2 variations? Are others getting 4 variations? What are we getting? So it was still super unclear. And then, again, to reiterate what you said, we found out we're getting less content than we did with the MKX variation system. That's really disappointing. At least content that I can use. And we've opened up so many more problems now, because it's like, don't worry, we'll release more presets. Okay, when are you going to release more presets? What if it's soon? It's like, oh, don't worry, we're going to release presets in the 3rd week of May. All right, so you're going to release a brand new preset for right before Combo Breaker? Is that tournament legal? Or if it's not balanced, are you going to have time to patch it? It creates so many problems. And if they had just been honest with us and said, we're probably not going to do it, we'll see what happens, but right now it doesn't look like it's going to be feasible, they should have said that in February. But it is what it is. We got to find out how we're going to deal. But I listed 4 problems. Let's go back to problem 2 for a second, the clarity. It's possible, with the exception of the Kitana podcast, or the Kitana Combat Cast, for all we know, we have not seen a single preset to date. Everything before then could have just been random bullshit. None of that could show up in a preset, for all we know. That worries me a lot. I feel like I don't know anything about these characters anymore. I feel like I have no idea how to formulate a strategy because I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Kitana, as far as I'm concerned, only has one preset. Because I'm not using Melina's tools. Man, what were they thinking with that? That was such a bad move. But, yeah, that was a really bad way to tell the Melina fans they weren't getting their character. And although I'm critical of the Melina fan base, that I said this on the Random Select. I was watching Losty Girl's reaction, and I was just watching her heartbreak as she was seeing the size and the teleports, and I'm just like, that's so fucked up. That's such a horrible thing to do to your fans.
Who is that?
So everything's
I'm aware of that person.
Well, she's just a YouTube reactor. She's a big fan of Mortal Kombat. She does a lot of reaction content.
What was her name?
Losty Girl.
Losty
Girl.
Girl.
Shout out, ironically, on the Combat Cast today. So.
Oh.
Yeah, and she's just watching, like, Kitana do all this Melina shit. You can see in her eyes, and she even says, I don't want to see this. Like, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
Because even though a bunch of Melina fans are giant pieces of shit, she's not. Most Melina fans who aren't on Twitter are fine, good, decent people who pay their taxes. So that's just so sad and fucked up, in my opinion. I can't believe they did that. So, yeah, what a great way to make a situation worse. All we can do now is try to plan ahead and figure out, day one what presets we're going to be using. Just bad stuff all around, really. It's not great.
And it's so far, like, well, okay, for me anyway. It's so far past the point of, like, assigning blame. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't care. It seems clear enough that there's a lot of shit about this game that feels way less stable and confident on its maiden voyage compared to previous games. But whatever the case for that is, them pushing E3 and them not delaying the game because of that, which I think they probably should have, and I think that this game would have benefited from it. More polish on the stuff that's under the hood and taking more time for that. I think this game really could have benefited from that specifically. There's a lot of little things about Mortal Kombat 11 that give me, are making me hear echoes of Street Fighter V's launch, and it's nowhere near as bad. It's not that dramatic of a thing, but in little ways, like, you can feel some of it. Like, you can feel that, like, they want the game to be more than it is, and they want the game to be more now. They want to launch with the game more than it is now, than it's going to be at launch. And so because of that, they're having to say, like, we're going to finish the game later. And, I don't like that. And I don't like having to pay for... Not having to pay for that. I don't like paying for that. But it's not as dramatic of a situation like it was for Street Fighter V, so that's not as big of a deal to me. But honestly, right now, like, for me, this game feels like a game that's not going to bloom really until, like, Mortal Kombat 11 XL or whatever that thing is. I think that's really where this game's going to fucking get stable and get confident in itself and find its legs. And until we get there, like, it's going to be a big continued beta, but better than the beta, and they're going to keep polishing it and toiling and tooling with it and adding stuff like additional variations and seeing if they can make that shit custom, which is what everyone fucking wants, and they know everyone wants it. And that's the thing that makes me so angry about the way they did that, because they know that everyone wanted it, tournament players too. And so,
they know that now. They didn't know that in January. They really thought we wanted presets. Which is a shame.
I have a hard time believing that. Like, obviously, I don't know. It could be that way. You could be right, but we don't know. It just seems really, really hard, because that's not information that should be that hard to come across. Like, you should just, like, fucking, like, people's not, like, people aren't hesitant to share their opinion in general. And more specifically, like, it's not that hard to ask tournament players and people like that, like, is that something that you guys would want? And but I mean, it could be just a situation like you said, like there was an assumption made and yada yada yada. But I don't know.
Well, I think Melita is the same thing. Possibly, it's like, hey, Melita, it didn't make it in this game, but wouldn't it be great if Melita fans could still do the telekick and the Psy attacks? I mean, I thought it would be common sense that no, that would be horribly offensive. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what goes on over there. It doesn't make any sense to me.
None of it's baffling. And it feels like there's a little bit of that going on over there as well. Like they're not sure what they're going to do. Because, I mean, I don't think that they planned all along, we're not going to do custom variations competitively. Like, I don't think that was the case. I think that they
I do think that, actually. That is... at least that's what I think. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what initially happened. They thought... Again, I think they thought that's what we...
I don't know, dude. Like, even if they thought that's what we wanted, I don't think that they would have gone with 2 variations at launch. I think that they would have gone with 3. Like, Ed has talked enough in the past about not wanting to do less content than the game that came before and stuff like that. Like I think if that was the case, they would be launching with 3 competitive presets. Still speculation. We don't know. Just kind of making the best of the situation here as we have it with the information.
I mean, I have a guess on that as well. I think the reason why they're down from 2 to 3 is because a lot of they were using MKX metrics. A lot of third variations never got used. So they're like, okay, well, let's cut the fat then. Let's make 2 buff presets. Maybe that's what's going on. Really, and they'll add more later based on balance.
It's really tough though, because it's like, okay, well, don't you think you could probably do 1 variation that's really, really strong more than you could do 2 variations? Like, you know, that I don't know. I feel like that logic kind of keeps going and messing with itself a little bit. Like, if you have 3 options, there's a better chance of there's being something like that's good and fun, even if the devs don't find it and people do some dirt to open shit up, and that's what happens with every fighting game. And there's also just that thing of, like I said, like on paper, that shit that Ed likes to think about and talk about, and he does talk about it. Like on paper, it's less content than before, and it's not really trimming the fat as much as it does just come off as less content. And I don't know how casual players in the middle felt about that with MKX. I don't know if they had as much of a complaint as a lot of us did. And I said the same thing that you did. Like, you know, Mortal Kombat X, a lot of the variations aren't great, and people did only, you know, mess around with 1 or 2 per character. But if you narrow that down to like a pool of 2 per character, maybe that comes down to only 1 variation being decent for a character. I don't know. And that is more of a moot point, because they're not doing what they did with MKX, and they're not being like 3 variations are the number of variations you get, which is good. They're going to have to keep working and updating the game after release to make that a thing for competitive players, but at least there's a higher ceiling, I guess, you know, than there was for MKX. There's room for more variations, competitive included. But they just have to. They've said as much. It's going to be post-launch support that you're going to see that.
Well, you know, I mean, it's also very. It's hard to use MKX metrics as something dogmatic too, because like a lot of the variations didn't show up not because they weren't good, but because people were lazy. Hat Trick, in my opinion, is one of the best variations of the game, in my opinion. It's very strong. Nimble was incredibly strong. Nimble was debatably a top 10 character. Pyromancer with Tanya, very strong. Everyone thought Duelist Liu Kang was a bill until someone won a tournament with Duelist Liu Kang. So I mean, it's just we have a smaller community than a lot of other communities, and because of the counterpick mentality, a lot of people don't want to learn the non-optimal stuff, and because you don't want to learn it, it's hard to judge it properly. They're trying to, you know, find the most optimal thing as fast as possible, you know, and this is back when we had Yomi. We had a bunch of dudes who lived in bunk beds fucking grinding matchups. So it's hard to say. It's not their fault. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to win and trying to find the optimal stuff. And even if they, you know, tried to mine the game out as much as they could, there was just too much. which is cool. That's why I wanted custom variations, so we could watch the game grow, so we could watch the gameplay become deeper.
And stuff like you fucking said, like some people like showing up at tournament with like some sick ass weird custom variation, and like it's really sick. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see people like actually have their own version of these characters. This you know, fucking Tom Brady Sub-Zero is not fucking anybody else's Sub-Zero and all this shit, and that goes for everybody. That
Grandmaster was also unbelievably good. Like that character, I think only won one tournament, and that's when DJT counterpicked with him. But Grandmaster was fucking buff. Buffalo was wrecking people with that character.
But I mean, but you can't fucking listen. You cannot listen to people talking about that shit and get a good gauge on it. As like, oh, this variation's trash, and like, you know, whatever. These are the only good variations, because people fucking post tier lists day one when this game comes out. Like, people say that shit all the time. There's no room for like in the middle. It's like really good or trash. And as a developer, it's hard to like sit back and listen to that and be like, okay, how do we translate this into something we can use to actually modify our game with? Because we cannot sit here and listen to, you know, quote competitive players online saying, you know, day one, this thing is trash, this thing is trash. Well, no, because you're wrong and you're dumb. You're saying it's trash until someone shows you otherwise, and a lot of times it's just because they don't want to. They're not actually going in there and doing the work themselves. They're just like, I haven't seen it good, so it's trash until proven otherwise. Which, I get it, but it on part of like a person, like, yeah, whatever. As a civilian, that's fine. As a developer, like, you can't listen to that because of that. That's not helpful at all. So, point being, I don't know what NRS's process is for how to listen to people and interpret that data. I would like to know. That'd be really interesting. I don't know what their protocol is, though.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think if they can fix the netcode, they can fix this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and probably much sooner.
I hope much sooner. Jesus, I hope it's not a year.
I hope it's a good word, dude, because that's another problem. No one knows what the problem is, because one of the twins said in his video that they could, you know, the same thing everyone's been saying is you could fix this by making an interface upgrade to the select screen. And then I think Downforce said it was Danish, or one of the developers who said, like, the select screen interface is the easiest problem to fix in the debate.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt, dude. Like, no. There's no way this is going on.
What's going on? Like, why not then? I don't get it.
It's something to do on the other level. Like, do we really want to put this out in such a way that where people can use these tools and combine them in ways that we can't fucking, you know, predict? Like, there's a billion different combinations for whatever. You have like 11 abilities or whatnot, and mix and match all these things and figure out something that we feel confident putting our, you know, our nuts on the line and backing and being like, listen, this is a variation that you can take and play in a tournament where you could win thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. This is not a variation that is a Tanyer. Like, you know, that's, in my opinion, that's where the reluctance comes from, and the hesitation, which is not a bad place to have a hesitation. Like, I definitely agree with that. I just wish that they felt and seemed like they had this figured out a little sooner, because that's something that kind of bugs me. That's something that does not instill a lot of confidence in me, and which is, it's fine that they have those feelings, and that means they care. That means they are concerned about that, which is good. But again, this being the case, and this launch being coupled with that kind of not super confident feeling NRS behind it, makes me wish that they would have pushed it a little bit and polished things up a little more and got a better feel on it. But I can't even say I think this is the best.
Too much broken stuff. They may have tried to do it come January when they got the feedback.
Yeah.
But, you know, Dizzy just kept finding infinites, or, you know, they kept finding, like,
absolutely, dude,
pseudo unblockables or hard to unblockables, you know, stuff like that. So who knows, man? I don't know.
I don't think, like, I was gonna say they're, you know, making the best of a bad situation. I don't think that they're making the best of it, actually. I think there's a lot of ways this could have gone to where they could have made this bad situation a little better. But if nothing else, they know it's a bad situation, I think. That's what I'm going to choose to believe, and that's how I'm going to interpret what they've told us. and they're going to see what they can do to fucking fix it up. I do wonder what it is though. Like, what's the difference between this game and like MKX and MK9, where like they don't feel as firm and like they've got as good of a handle on it? Like, what's the difference? Like going all the way back to stuff like amplified moves and them being shaky about like how you're gonna input this shit, and obviously like fucking being Neo dodge dudes whenever someone fired a bullet of how are variations gonna work in competitive, like dodge it, like they've, you know what I mean, they don't feel as sturdy as they have before, and I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder what happened. Maybe they just got behind, and maybe
it's been like that since January.
Yeah,
I feel like there's been a strong lack of clarity since the game was and I don't necessarily have a problem with that, to be honest with you. If they don't want to tell us stuff, that's fine, but I do not expect the pendulum to swing in this direction.
No, and like I said, like, yeah, I absolutely understand them wanting to, like, them not feeling super confident in some things because they don't want to do things where they put out Tanyers. That's a good thing. So I kind of feel like they might should have considered delaying the game and polishing it a little longer. I wouldn't have hated that, especially seeing the product that we're going to get right now. I'm still going to play the game when it comes out. Obviously, none of that's going to change whatsoever. But just generally speaking, I think this game specifically could have benefited from a delay and a little more time.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I definitely... Evo's in August now, so they have that flexibility. All developers have a little more flexibility when it comes to spring releases, but... I don't know.
I mean, NRS has never been someone flexible about their releases. I don't know why, but they always have to, like, you know, they have a schedule. We all know the schedule. They're held to the schedule. Even when they're trying to be coy back at E3, it's like... You guys know you're not doing stuff to schedule. What? I didn't know people were paying attention. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You guys know that you guys fucking... Boy. Maximilian is like, dude, there's gonna be a fucking announcement. You're gonna announce Mortal Kombat. It's gonna be a thing. Like, everyone knows. You guys aren't subtle, bro. But, listen. I'm working through it. And hopefully we all are. And yeah, I wish this would have come sooner so I could be more worked through it by the time release happens. A week from this coming Tuesday, I think. But I'm getting there. I'm fucking doing the work. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good, I hope. What do you think? I don't know. I don't want to be a piss baby. I'm not going to be a piss baby. That's what I know. Tim, did you disappear on me?
No, I'm still here. I was just thinking this is probably the final Warrior Shrine until the game comes out.
Don't say that shit, God.
Why not?
Why is this a meme that happens to us fucking all the time? This is the last time we're going to talk before Mortal Kombat 11 gets announced. Yeah.
I mean, unless they announce Nightwolf, like, I don't... think. I mean, what would we talk about after this? I mean, what are we going to do? A Frost special? Like, I just don't know what else they could reveal after this point, where the game comes out, right?
I don't know. No. Actually, if they show off Combat Pack 1 next week, which there's a chance they might, not on because they're not doing a cast. Honestly.
I'd be very surprised. Shao Kahn, I think, is Monday, confirmed, free, but I don't know about KT.
I think KP is going to be soon. I would not be surprised if it was next week.
That would be really cool if they told us what the pack was before people pre-ordered. I think that'd be really...
I would respect that a lot more. I hadn't pre-ordered, and I'm not... I mean, wait, I did pre-order, but just for the basic thing. I'm not going to buy that shit sight unseen. I don't care if Kerry Tagawa is in it, and boy... If Kerry can't convince me to buy a combat pack sight unseen... nothing can. I'm still gonna buy him. I'm gonna buy Shang. Like, there's no question. I'm just not gonna buy the whole... What is it? 6 characters? I think it's 6 characters.
I believe so, yes.
That's a lot of characters, man.
Well, you know what? One thing I want to give props for NetherRealm is for having a good DLC release schedule.
Yeah.
Because I bought the character pass for Soul Calibur in October, and we're only 2 characters in right now. And they just barely released Amy, like, a month ago. Not even a month ago. It was at the end of March. So we don't know who the third character is. We still have no clue who the third fucking character is. So, what the fuck, man?
Dude. What do you ask? Toothlow's asking me, do you think they will reveal KP1 or Frost during the Xbox event? That's what I was thinking. We talked about that very briefly on the Nethercast before. It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised. When did they announce KP1 for MKX? How early did they announce that? I feel like it was before release, wasn't it? Before launch?
Jason was before release. I don't know if anyone else.
I don't have that lore either. It's been a while. I kind of think they did. I thought that they did, but I might be wrong. I also don't remember it with Injustice either. But no, I hope they do. I hope they show it off, and I hope there's a Nightwolf and a Cyrax in there. Like, to me, those two, for some reason, just feel really like... The fuck are you thinking of these characters not being in the game? Like, what are you fucking smoking over here? Like,
yeah, MK3 in general doesn't get a lot of love.
Bruh, like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. It's fucking Nightwolf, Cyrax o'clock. What are you... Those two fucking better be in that pack. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, even MKX only had one MK3 representative, and that was Ermac, who was barely an MK3 character.
It's a fucking, Sindel and Shiva? Listen to this guy. He knows who you like.
Sindel, yes. I'm not Shiva.
This guy's a Tip fan.
Wait, who wrote Shiva? What chat are you in?
Oh, I don't know. Casual conversation.
Oh, wait, no, I'm there too. Where's Shiva? I don't see Shiva anywhere.
I don't know either. Where'd he go? Did he retcon? He retconned his comment, you motherfucker.
Fucking timeline change, bro.
Fucking Timmy, he did do it. Let me... Dude... I'm making the choice to be optimistic and to burn off all this, butthurt and piss baby, because I don't want to be a piss baby. Because DJ Timmy G is a piss baby, and none of us want to be like that. What kind of excitement level are you at? Like, the 1 to 10 meter, where's your hype thing pegging right now?
This is especially tough because I'm going to try to not repeat anything I said on the random select. But I would say probably a 6 out of 10 right now.
6 out of 10? You're with Timmy. You're with Timmy. You and Timmy both, man. Timmy. Yeah.
It's okay. It's not because I don't like the game. I think the game's great, but to recap what I said in random select, it was a 10 out of 10 for MKX because I was so excited what they were going to do with the variation system. I had 3 Sub-Zeros waiting for me. They announced Shinnok, who I've been waiting for forever, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to play a Shinnok, and I get a run button. Shinnok's going to run. Oh my god, like that day at work before MKX came out, I was freaking out. So it's not that I don't think the game is good. It's not that I don't like the roster. I think the roster is significantly better than MKX. But who am I going to play when I buy? Okay, I downloaded it. It's April 23rd. Who do I play?
Dude, you tell me. Who are you going to play? Like, you get the game, time to go in the lab. Because I'm assuming, is that what you do? We played this game for a second on the Nethercast, whenever we weren't talking about that intro between Kitana and Deborah. What's going to be the first thing you do when you fire up the game? Like, what is your thing?
Oh, training mode, absolutely.
Training mode, yeah, I said the same thing. That's like what I'll always do. And boy, was that a popular opinion? It wasn't. But no, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Who are you going to jump in there with, though?
Right now, it's probably Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. Man, weird. Maybe he'll have thighs by then.
Oh man, there's no thighs in this game.
Dude, boys can have thighs. Boys can have thighs. Enjoy them. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be picking Sub-Zero and being a Sub-Zero player. That's what I gotta do. I'm going back to my old fucking the old standards for me.
Well, that's a problem. Like, what Sub-Zero am I going to play 23rd? Like, I don't even know which Sub-Zero is going to be waiting for me. There's only two now. There's only two Sub-Zeros.
There's only two Sub-Zeros.
So it's like, what are they going to make them out of, right?
Man,
that shitty clone you were going to use is not even in the game anymore. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that takes up 3 slots. It's not going to be a preset.
Dude, this game is so fucking weird. I do want to try Noob, I think. I've learned something, though, about myself playing Injustice 2. Let's talk about that for a second, because why not? Injustice 2 kind of made me realize I can have fun as a annoying rushdown pressure player, that kind of thing, which I've never really done for. I don't know if you can call Robin that. Like, what would you call Robin? Was Robin like that?
I would call him like a standard anti-neutral character.
Anti-neutral?
Like a footsie anti-neutral.
Okay. See, I mean, I call him the pressure character because, you know, he can get you in the fucking loop, and like I can keep making shit safe with meter burning that sword spin thing I do, and get safe uppercuts and whatever. But whatever. Anyway, I wouldn't mind finding a character that I can feel similarly with in this game. And Scorpion was not that character for me in the beta anyway. I tried, but it didn't quite scratch the itch. And it's hard to tell which characters right now, especially after we don't know what's what and what's tournament legal from watching the combat casts. But it would be cool if I could find something like that with Noob. But I think I'm barking up the wrong tree with Noob, and that's not really what he's doing. I'm not good, but I don't like listening to fucking 16-bit either because it's not helpful. Fucking mid-range. This guy dominates mid-range. It's really good for the mid-range. It's really good at neutral. Man, he makes everybody sound the same in this game. Maybe they are. I don't know.
A lot of mid-range characters, but yeah, I don't know.
I'd want to play Noob. I just don't want to sit full screen and throw shadows. That's all I'm saying.
And I don't think you will. When I saw the trailer, he did not strike me as that kind of character. I never did watch the breakdown though, so we'll see how that goes. But
you never watched the breakdown?
No, I didn't watch the breakdown.
Dude, he's got some fucking. Did you watch the? You didn't watch any reactions to the breakdown either? Those were some of the best shits.
I saw the reaction to the trailer. I never saw the reactions to the breakdown.
I know I watched some of Eris's reaction to that stream. And that stream, and for me, is still the best stream they've done. That was a buff stream. They did Collector, Aaron Black, and Noob.
I saw the Collector stuff. The Collector looks good. We haven't talked about the Collector on the Warrior Shrine.
Yeah, we should talk about the Collector. The Collector is good. Fucking Eris was getting hyped because Noob does like the smoke channel your Quan thing whenever he does an EX clone. It's a pretty dank pose, I gotta say. It is pretty fucking sick. I saw a lot of poses from Noob that made me happy and made me want to play that game some more. Flow like Noob a lot too. That was a really good breakdown, I think, for Noob. It was hard to tell though, the stuff that I'm talking about, like what kind of Noob I can play, as in not sitting full screen and throwing shadow clones. But if I can make something work and I can play Sub-Zero and Noob in this game, that'd be tight. Sure, why not? That would feel good to me, and I need something to feel good. I need to feel good right now. That would make me feel good.
Right now, he's one of the characters I'm eyeballing if Kung-Lao does not work out. Him and like 3 others are what I'm looking at.
Who are the other ones?
The other one's Kitana. I think Kitana looks really interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
So it's Kung-Lao, Noob Saibot, Kitana. The third one is Johnny Cage, actually. Looking at Johnny Cage. And Cassie as well. Cassie looks very interesting in this.
You just want to do that sub intro.
Yes.
Sub, which no one could blame you for. Man, someone gave me the best fucking idea that broke my brain for a minute and still does. Getting the PC version of the game, MK11, and modding in my music over what's in the game.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be cool.
I was like, that's the tightest idea. I would need help. Yeah, Razino in the chat, shout outs. It was him. That would get me fucking so hyped and might make me play the game more than I normally would otherwise. Because there's some you know, I mean, music is important. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you guys think and feel, but if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. Music is really important, and I wish there was more like music that got me feeling hype and like fucking pumped about shit. And I need some fucking percussion here and there to do that with, and they don't like percussion that much in these games. At least not like the Forden and whatnot, dude. There is something really interesting about them, how much they downplay their percussion, and I don't know what that is. But if I can swap in my shit for theirs, I can mod it in, and then I can have like a character select screen theme, dude, it might make this whole variation problem go away.
Yeah, no,
it sounds
true.
so weird, you know. Fucking, I don't know. I just heard this idea, which I've never even fucking crossed my mind a minute ago, so it's still a little fresh. But it did get me oddly hype. I was gonna ask you another question. I don't remember what it was. How did you feel about the Collector?
I think the Collector looks good. He is the best win post in the game.
The win post. Oh, him fucking holding his backpack, is snatching it away from you.
How did Max put it? Oh, no touching my bullshit. I thought that was good.
I didn't see. Man, I haven't watched a lot of things. That's been the other thing. I said this earlier in the chat when I was talking to myself and all these dudes. I was talking to all these guys in here. It's been such a fucking weird time because, like everyone, you know, in one ear I've got, you know, the hype for MK11 like buzzing, like, you know, it's at a fever pitch right now. We're there. It's hard to get that fucking ringing out of my ear. The other ear, I've got all the bullshit for the EB game that's buzz the other one, and it's like I'm not doing either very well. I'm not staying on top of either very well right now. And I'm trying to minimize that. I'm trying to combat that and stay on top of shit. I mean, obviously, especially the EV game stuff, but both of them, it's hard. I'm excited about both, and we're right here at the cusp, so it's really hard to fucking stay on top of that shit. I want to pay more attention to stuff. I want to pay more attention to Mortal Kombat 11 because I want to be hype about it, and I want to do my part to do it. And I think there's a lot in this game to be hype about. I am hype about trying out Aaron Black and throwing dynamite at people. I want to fucking try out Total Khan too. Total Khan could be. I hope he's.
Total looks really interesting in this game. I think Total is probably one of the better revamps of the characters. That's probably my biggest praise of MK11 is they took a lot of characters I wasn't initially interested in and made them much more interesting. That's probably the greatest praise I can give the roster right now.
How'd you feel about Aaron Black? Did you watch that breakdown or no? I guess you didn't watch that.
Aaron's actually the reverse. I actually thought Aaron was more interesting in MKX. I took a lot of the things I liked about him.
He definitely doesn't feel as much like a Sonic Fox character.
I like the coin zoning. That's some of the stuff I liked about him. But like, for example, Cassie. I did not like Cassie in MKX. She looks so good in this game. She looks way better. Baraka. I've never been a Baraka fan. Looks fantastic in this game.
Yeah, he's had a good showing.
Kodo looks really good. Like I said, huge improvement.
We just haven't seen. I feel like Kodo is like. We've barely seen anything from that dude. Like he was getting his ass kicked in his trailer, like hard to Jackie, and then they really blew through his walkthrough. So I don't feel like I really got a good grasp of anything about Kotal. And
the totems look really good in this game in a way they did not look like. You can stack them now.
Yeah, stacking the totems does look tight. And the cat is obviously tight. Man, if there's not a cat in one of those variations that's competitive, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Well, I'll say what I said on the Nethercast that day. I'm not terribly certain what the point of the cat is. I like cats, but like, is it a whiff punisher? Is it a combo ender? Like the neutral ground cat, like the air cat, obviously is a fake out, but the ground cat, like, is it a neutral tool? Is it for footsies? Is it safe? I just don't know. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with that cat gameplay wise. The totems make a lot more sense. That's gonna make his neutral and his corner game variant.
Totems do, man, and I like his new swords. I like his new fucking tats and shit. If you put the skins on him, I think that's tight too.
I never did like the fact that he wasn't actually green. That always rubbed me.
No, I wasn't a fan of that either. I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, he looks good. They did a good job bringing him back. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Jax does look good in this game. gameplay and visually. I don't know if I'm gonna.
I'm laughing at Timmy's comment.
I'm gonna be able to play him there. Don't read it. It's fucking a trap.
I think Kotal looks better in this game too. He's larger and more.
Kotal looks like how he should have. I said that somewhere. I don't even remember where. But one of my favorite things about Mortal Kombat 11 is kind of, you know, like what you said. I like seeing them bring back new characters from MKX and seeing them revamped a little bit. Because I mean, we've seen these other characters revamped time and time and time again. It's interesting to see what they do with those, like I said, MKX characters. And it's a little bittersweet that, you know, obviously I would have loved to have seen that with like Takeda. But whatever, I get it. It happens. It's Mortal Kombat, man. You gotta roll with the punches. But man, seeing everybody and seeing like fucking legit idle stances. Idle stances get me really hype. And MKX just fucking shat its pants with idle stances. They were so stupid. Except for a select few. But like you said, Kotal looks fucking tight now. He's fucking standing there like a boss, taking up all this fucking room on the screen. His fucking headdress, did you see the size of that thing in this game? It's fucking massive, dude. He's just crazy. So I'm really looking forward to playing Kotal, especially because I kind of wanted to play him in MKX. I never got around to it. So that's, you know, it's like I held out for a better version. That could be fun. I hope that I do find between these characters something that does stick and I can have fun with and I can latch onto, both in terms of character and, you know, gameplay, because you gotta like your character.
Kotal Khan's one of the reasons why the variation system was, I think, underexplored, is because why learn corner setups with hat trick when you can do forward 2 with Kotal Khan? So yeah,
man, that guy.
And forward 2 is an ability now. I thought that was so sick.
It is sick.
I'll be able to use it. I don't even know if forward 2 is going to be in the game anymore on the competitive side. So it's
isn't it a bummer? It's hard to. I don't. It's a bummer. It's a blow up. What else do we got?
That's it. I don't really have any. I mean, I know I'm being really negative this episode, and I really honestly do love and appreciate everything NetherRealm does for us. I don't think this was properly handled, and I hope they're listening. I will say this. I guess if I had to stack one more thing, I really hope they give an offline mode for tag team, because one of the best parts of being in the San Antonio MK9 community was that we often didn't have enough setups, and we all had to do 2-on-2. So everyone would be able to get rounds in. And it was some of the most fun I had playing the game. And I really feel I want everyone to experience it. So I hope they have 4-player tag mode online. Even if it's not on release, I really feel like they're messing up by not adding that.
Just so many people talking about that and asking for it. Like, it seems like something that would make a lot of people happy, and I hope they do it.
I mean, why would you not want to do it? Like, 4 people can play at the same time. Like, it's a fighting game dream. Like, that's Smash shit, right? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, you're not gonna win me over by being like, that's Smash shit. It's gonna be great. But I get it, and it would be fun if it was in there. I would play. Well, not offline. I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess I definitely wouldn't play it. If it was offline only, because I don't. Yeah, there's no one really around me that much that I would play, I guess. No, that's not true. There's a few people, but it's not fun because I would kick all their asses, and I suck.
Yeah.
So it's
same.
You know, it's whatever. It's part of the fun with online games, though. Netcode's gotten to the point to where it's good enough to start feeling decent, like, you know, you're actually playing a person. It's kind of corrected that wrong.
We had a game back in MK9 where my friends, they knew I played in the tournament scene, right, locally. So we'd play a game where I would do the combat code to reduce my health to 25%.
Oh, man.
And I had to take a shot every time someone beat me.
That sounds, wait, this was Mortal Kombat 9?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds good, then. That sounds far enough back to where it was probably alright.
Every time I lost, it was due to an X-ray. Because if someone got an X-ray, they could beat me in one hit. I did okay. I took about 4 shots.
Yeah, no. I still
feel
think
pretty good about it.
That's exactly kind of what I thought that how that would go. Man.
It was crazy because they knew the text. They're like, all right, he only has 25% health. So everyone went Kung Lao and everyone just started dive kicking like crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was so much fun. Dude, my friend actually got mad at me because his girlfriend tried and I bodied her. So,
Well,
so he's like, dude, why don't you go easy on her? I'm like, dude, I don't want to take a shot.
Don't
Good
fucking
times, man.
ask me for competition if you don't want me to fucking compete, motherfucker. I'm not here to sandbag.
I have my health to think about.
Dude, yeah, that's another thing. But, I mean, still, obviously, you came out fine. You held your own. GGs. Who were you playing?
Smoke.
Oh, dude, come on. Fucking Smoke is... He's a scrub killer. We know he is a scrub killer. If people
you can't zone him for one thing.
No. He's fuck your zoning, even though...
Well, the thing is, I didn't actually anti-zone with Smoke because I was more afraid of people's wake-ups than I was of their projectiles. So I usually just blocked the projectiles.
You had trouble knowing what was a projectile in that game, apparently.
Yeah, that's lore. That's actual canon.
That is a thing.
Other thoughts before we get into questions, or...
Okay, well, let's talk about, like, we heard their announcements as far as how ranked and player matches are going to work. Ranked sounds like it's going to be ranked sets. I'm assuming it'll be ranked sets still, like it was in Injustice. Just, obviously competitive variations only.
2 out of 3, right? I imagine.
Yeah. Ranked sets were 2 out of 3, yes. I believe they were not first to 3. They might have been first to 3, though. It was one of the two.
I can't remember if rematch was optional or not. I can't remember.
I don't remember it either.
I think it was optional. I don't think you had to rematch.
I think in ranked, whenever they did that patch, like, you had to win the whole set to win the exchange, the set.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. I don't think that you could go back to the select screen if you won either. So it's just up to the loser. Like, they can quit if they want. They can do that, but that's obviously a loss. Or they can select to go back to the select screen. I think that's how it worked.
And this is both MKX and Injustice?
I only remember this being an Injustice 2, like at the end of it when they patched it.
Okay, then all right, never mind. There may not even been an MKX at all.
And so I'm assuming something similar to that would be how ranked is set up. Player match is, I'm assuming, and from what it sounds like, it's going to be the same as it always is, just in terms of, like, rematch as much as you want. But they did say no augments. I think, is that right? They said no augments and custom variations?
I don't remember exactly how the augments work.
I thought that was... I'm almost 100% positive that's what it was for player matches. Like, augments are off. It's not even a thing.
Think augments are going to affect anything in casual. I think the augments might be for offline only, but I can't remember, dude.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. So player matches are not sets, like for like hard sets. You rematch as much as you want, and custom variations are allowed. Which, asks the question, which is good. Like, that's good. I'm glad that augments aren't their like stats were in player matches in Injustice 2. That was definitely the case there, and not... Obviously, people made known how they felt about it. Yeah, you had the option to turn off stats if you wanted to, but no one fucking did that shit. So yeah, player matches being the same as ranked sets, just with custom variations. Do you think you're going to spend any more time playing in that shit than you are the other way? But you don't even play ranked that much anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see what everyone around here does, because I know Cyborg has been talking about, like, running some Discord tournaments and whatnot, which sounds hella fun.
It's funny, I do play ranked in other games. I just didn't do it in MKX.
I'm always the guy that plays ranked. I love ranked fucking more than...
I'll put ranked in this game as well. It wasn't
else.
the intention to not play rank. I wanted to do it, but it just there was so much like in quotations local competition. It didn't make sense. I'm hoping you and I have time to play sets this game.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Especially after like ranked sets were added to Injustice 2, like that made it even better. because I've said it before. I really love that thing where you get paired up with a complete rando, and you have such a limited time to figure them out and to test them and to see what's going on and what's not going on and how to beat them, and then boom, you move on. And you can't really do that as much with friends. There's other stuff going on when you're playing people but that thing of just matchup after matchup, learning people, figuring them out, beating them, overcoming it or not overcoming it, like doing that rapid fire, I really love that. That's like my favorite thing with fighting games. So that's the thing that I like to get out of ranked, and the thing that I'm going to be going back to ranked for a bunch here. Have they confirmed ranked? Aramon just asked, right? Have they confirmed ranked mode like Street Fighter 5 or 7 style ranks? Like matchmaking and stuff. I don't think they've talked much about matchmaking at all and how that stuff like works out on stats, and not stats as in gear or whatever. You know what I mean? All they've said is you will be matched with people on player skill, and that's all that fucking they said, and which does not say anything. I really hope there are ranks, because fuck. Yeah. Fucking ranks. And that could be a thing that they still have yet to talk about, because they just started talking about today those fucking source crystals they started talking about. Even though they're not called source crystals, combat crystals. We know what you're doing over there. You're selling us currency to buy shit, which is fine. They made sure to tell us it's all cosmetic.
And that implies we're going to know what they're selling too, so the whole store will be visible. That's crazy. We're gonna know what all the gear is before we unlock it. That's tight. I think that's so awesome.
That was the takeaway. That's what I took away from that too. I hope that's the case.
Well, you're right. It was an implication. They didn't technically say that, but I feel like that has to be true. Are you gonna unlock new parts of the store? Like,
I mean, I don't know. You would. To me, it sounded like there might be some things that you can only earn via gameplay, though. And I actually wouldn't. I don't know if I would hate that. Not random, like not like Injustice 2. Just like there are things that you can only get if you beat this shit or whatever, and they tell you that. But I would also be, obviously, I'd be more than happy if it was fucking in the store. Like, let me just go and buy your fucking combat crystals and buy, Sub-Zero Shredder helmet. Like, that would be tight, and I would be fine with that. Oh, you didn't watch the Kitana stream yet, Armand? Sean Hamburg just talked about that. This crystals thing. It's the same as source crystals in Injustice, only there's no mother boxes or anything like that this time around, so that's not an issue. And you can earn these combat crystal things through gameplay and whatnot, but you use them to buy cosmetic shit outright directly. So that's cool. That sounds promising. But they did not talk about ranks or anything yet, but they did say they have more to talk about on not next week's stream, because they're not doing a stream next week, so it'll be the one after that, like Monday. I think they did say Monday.
It'll be the day before the game comes out. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm expecting them to talk about ranks and stuff like that online. I actually do think that they have something like that in place. I'm not expecting it to be super like complex and extravagant, especially at launch, but I am expecting some kind of rank system to be in there, some kind of thing. I hope so, because I mean, if not, that's a blow up. That's embarrassing, dude. Fucking Killer Instinct, Street Fighter, Tekken, everybody has this shit, right? Like, just come on. What's the excuse? It's retarded. Yeah, I fucking want it too. I think that was I think that's all my information that I recall about that. I think
Kitana looked good.
Kitana did look good. God, I really liked that move that she did, where she can soak a projectile and it makes her melee shit better. That was tight. I
like the fact that she has a mid-screen combo. I think that's super sick.
She looked really good too. I said it on the whatever we did. What's that show called? I don't know how these shows are. Forget. She looked good. I'd love to. I said it before though. I liked her. I like her headband. Love the headband is back. Actually, I really like how she looks super UMK3 just because of the tight spandex and superhero shit. Like, it looks like a superhero costume, which I'm okay with. I understand. She's also wearing pants, so you know, it is what it is. But I like that look for her a lot, a hell of a lot, actually.
I think overall she looks pretty good too. I like the facial work, and the hair looks so much better than it did previously. The pants looks generic. Like, that's the problem is with pants in general, is that everyone starts to look homogenous.
Yeah. And
I don't know. Like I said, I like the '90s superhero look. You know, we never question why. I couldn't tell based on Baran's statement if he was trying to be more, if it was a sensitivity thing, or if he thought the bikinis looked stupid. In MK9, a lot of the costumes did look stupid. I'll agree with him there, but the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, first of all, leather pants is not practical if you're doing kung fu kicks. But second of all, like, when it comes to actual comic heroes, which is essentially what MK characters are, again, we don't question why Superman wears underwear over his blue pants. We don't question that.
I mean, he does.
We don't question all the spandex, even though spandex actually does kind of make sense in a fight. Yeah, just I don't know. All the shoulder guards, the 2 decades of shoulder guards we've had to put up with, never got questioned. You can leave your elbows fully exposed, but shoulder guards, yeah, it doesn't look as cool to me. But I like the color scheme a lot. I like the color scheme going down, you know, from her boots up to her shoulder straps. It looks really cool. I've just kind of accepted I've lost this battle, and it's okay. Let me put it this way too: like it looks overly simplistic. Scarlet actually has like a coattail thing going on that looks really good. I wish they had done something like that.
I don't disagree.
It's plain. It's a very empty design.
There's a thing that came along with the when we stopped making ninjas palette swaps. You know, you got things where, okay, Ermac is a little bit more of a mystic type dude, so it makes sense for him to have the cloaky things going on here and there, and that sort of shit. And I feel like Scarlet is a little bit more in that vein, whereas I don't like a lot of loose hanging shit off of Kitana because she's a fucking assassin and needs to fucking get in and get out and not have that shit wrapping around her head and whatnot. That's me putting a lot of, like, dude, fuck realism, right? Like, it's a video game superhero shit. But if you were to put something like that on it, I kind of come from that side of the thing, and so for me, like, Scarlet stuff makes sense, and for her, the roby coat shit and the more, like, streamlined and tactical shit for Kitana I like. But I don't know. What do you think?
I just feel like the design needs a little more. Like, the cool thing about
I can get on board with that. Yeah, you're right.
You could argue that you could say that the MK3 costumes were just as simplistic, but they looked cool. The thing is, the reason why a lot of 90s comics have the thighs showing is because they're trying to sell comics. They want to put sex appeal, but it also looks cool. Generally, sexiness and charisma generally go hand in hand, as long as you don't overdo it like MK9 did. So it's like, okay, you took out the sexiness, great. What are you going to do to replace the charisma? With Kitana, the answer is nothing. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to put on pants. It's like, well, Scarlet, they found an answer to that. Scarlet looks really good in this game. What is the answer for Kitana? Blue stripes on black pants.
Well, she does have her fucking lackeys bringing her into the fight now. Like, if they want to play up that aspect of her personality and her character, I mean, that's good. They should play up something. You're right.
That was cool. I thought that, and to be fair, I think overall she looks good. But I just, like I said, I fought a losing battle, and this is where I'm at.
Yeah, this is where
I don't know. Like, I hate the fact that we're throwing away the classic aesthetic.
This is.
I just feel like I've been playing too much on this episode. I'll just kind of mark it there, man.
Dude,
she looks great. I can't wait to play her.
Come on, that's what this episode. Like I said, this is like the 2-parter. Like the last one, we were too optimistic. Clearly, we were way too optimistic, and this one is about fucking. Listen, you have to face reality head on and deal with it, and then when you come out on the other side, being able to enjoy the game more, like, you know, and whatnot. It's fucking, don't do denial shit. Yeah, there's some shit we don't like about the game. No, I think that dealing with that shit gets it out of the way better. And the weird stuff they've done and stances they've taken on dress in general is complicated. And they're right in some ways, and in some ways they're not. Some ways it's just a rubber band situation. And going as dumb in the other direction as they did, in the opposite direction as they did with something like MK9, it's not any better. It's still, you're doing the same shit. And, you know, people have to talk about it, otherwise it's not going to go away. But fucking we're not piss babies, goddamn. If we were piss babies, we wouldn't even be talking about this shit. We would fucking hang up and sit with our arms crossed and be buttheads. But we're not.
Well, I think what makes it hard for me is that the people who agree with me are often idiots. It's like, yeah, it's like, where are the tits, bro?
Yeah, you're in some not savory company.
Come on, don't group me in with these guys. No, I just want cool looking costumes. Again, if you're going to get rid of the sex appeal, just don't make the costumes boring, right? That is not where these guys stand. These guys are fucking weird, dude. Like, they're just, they want huge ass titties, and that is not me. That is not where I stand at all. I just want the characters to look cool. And I want, even if the designs that don't look cool, if it's a classic costume, it's iconic, bring it back anyway. Like, there's some MK3 costumes I'm not wild about. Bring it back. Like, I don't know. Like, that's history. That's cool. That's Mortal Kombat 3. Bring that shit.
I don't like
MK3. You think Light Night Wolf's fucking, like, sewn up pants? Fuck no. Bring it back. So, yeah.
I didn't like MK3 Kung Lao either, though.
I like it now. It grew on me over the years. Quite frankly, I like almost all his costumes. Kung Lao's only bad costume might be in this game.
I think that you're probably right. I think this is probably the costume that I like the least. It probably is his worst costume. But man, like for me,
there's also the Revenant costume in Part X. I forgot about that. I don't like his.
I guess we do have to count Revenants.
His fucking Mega Man X costume.
I really love his fucking Mortal Kombat 2 look. And I also like the way he looked in Mortal Kombat 4, which was pretty much MK3, but I think that they tweaked it a little bit more because it was 3D and not an actual person there, to where it looked a little better. But I also didn't love MK3. We've talked about this before. MK3 Shang. I was not a huge fan of MK3 Shang. I liked MK2 Shang a lot more. But if they had put the makeup on MK2 Shang, like, I would have, that would have been cool. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, that could have been interesting.
And I think, like, there was something like that in Deadly Alliance, wasn't there? Like, he had the hat but like long hair or something like that.
It looked really good too. That's probably my favorite Shang Tsung.
It was a good Shang. I also really liked the MK2 Shang that was in Shaolin Monks. That was also a really cool look, but that's not a hot take. Shaolin Monks had some of the best designs ever for everybody, all the time.
Older new on Shaolin Monks.
What are you talking about? Oh,
younger
Shang.
And Shaolin Monks specifically. Which one do you think looked good?
Young Shang, I think. I liked both though. Like I didn't hate either, but Young Shang, I remember being like, "Hey, that's Young Shang. He looks pretty tough."
I'm not in love with MK2 Shang. I think it's a little too simplistic.
They could put the fucking Sub-Zero hat on him.
that actually looked good. Yeah,
that would be tight. Anyway, Kitana. I get you. She doesn't look bad by any stretch.
Yeah, it's just plain. She looks plain to me.
Shadowloo was talking about some people complaining that she looks too Asian. And I have not seen or heard that complaint, so I don't know if that's true. But I'm not calling him a liar by any stretch. I just haven't seen it myself.
I've heard it. My only thing about making her Asian is does that mean Sindel's Asian?
Fuck, no one's Asian. They're aliens. That's the weird thing to me.
But I mean, like, let's say, like, Sindel is, like, from Egypt, and her kid looks like she's from Iceland. You don't think that's a problem? Even if they're in another world? Like, I feel like there's a little dissonance there.
It could be. But, I mean, there's also the thing where, like, I could see a young Sindel having like a similar face to this.
Oh yeah,
Kitana, definitely.
I agree with that. And Kitana doesn't even look like, I have a lot of half Asian friends. And Kitana looks more akin to that.
Yeah.
But I don't have a huge problem with it. Just make sure you make Sindel Asian in the next game. Like when Sindel comes back, she needs to look a little more Asian this time. Or at least explain that Jared looked Asian. Show us what Jared looks like.
Oh God, don't talk about Jared.
We need facial consistency. It's like, okay, well, is Kitana Italian? Is she
that's
white?
never
Is she
been a
Asian?
thing in Mortal Kombat. Facial consistency. Except for like for whatever Raiden in the past few games, including Injustice 2. He's pretty much like the same. Fucking Sub-Zero was one dude in MKX, different dude in Injustice, and now he's a different guy here. Aramon, yeah, with the fucking Italian katana. I heard that too the other day. Never heard that before then. But was that in reference to Mortal Kombat 9? I feel like it was. And I could see that katana being Italian.
I think the Italian katana is more of a Deadly Alliance thing than anything.
Is it really? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of looks like J-Lo in that game. But no, MK Gold is where she really looks like Jennifer Lopez. But honestly, it's not a big deal. But I just feel like one of her parents needs to be Asian now, because Sindel does not look like an Asian individual.
I definitely agree. Like,
yeah. Other than that, she looks great.
If you change them both, they both have, or you change one, they both need to like correlate.
Or you know what? Like, if you make Sindel Native American, who gives a shit? Have Kitana be Asian. Have Sindel be like, you know, a bunny rabbit. Honestly, none of it matters. It really does. She looks great. She looks really good.
She does. And that's the most important thing. But to me, like, I don't know. That shit always bugs me. Whenever people are like, you know, Jade is this and Kitana is this thing, it's like, well, I mean, they're not, because inconsistency in the franchise, they're not one thing. They've never been one thing. Sometimes Jade is an Oompa Loompa, and it's true. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Sometimes she looks more normal-ish. But she's never African. So that's not really something you should be paying attention to. You should be paying attention to, like, what kind of alien does she look like, and kind of making that part of her character consistently. And I also think there should be more legitimate actual Africans in the game. People of African descent. I've thought that for a long time.
I mean, you can make the case for Cyrax, right?
We need way more. I would definitely include Cyrax and Kai. And,
I think he's from the continent of Africa.
But I'm just talking about people, like I said, of African descent that are like Earthrealm people. They are from here. They're not aliens.
Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha. I thought. Yeah, you mean like from Queens? Yeah. Okay.
From anywhere.
You meant like specifically like the Congo or something like that.
No, not specifically. Just anywhere like here. Like, okay, this person is an African American or African Asian or African British. Like whatever you want to do. Just not like Jade, because Jade's not African anything. Jade's an alien.
Well, that's true. I don't necessarily know if Cyrax was from the continent of Africa anyway. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But like. Consistency, that's all I want.
No, absolutely, yeah. Consistency is a thing, and it kind of, you know, spontaneous apparent ethnicity is an interesting, fun thing. What game was Jade in Oompa Loompa? She was an Oompa Loompa in Mortal Kombat 2, and to a little bit lesser degree, Mortal Kombat 3. UMK 3. That's what I say. Dude, she was.
That's about all I got. Like, unless what's up?
No, I agree. I
only bring up Kitana because I'm going to lab her day one in case Kung Lao doesn't work out. That's really the only reason I bring her up at all.
I also wanted to ask.
That's really cool.
I didn't remember seeing it. Does she have her run back or no?
Kitana? No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, the assassin anime run thing.
No, she has the throat slit, but I think the animation is way different.
Okay.
And I don't even know if it's a true. Is it your throat she slits, or is it something? I don't know. But regardless, it's completely different.
She does look cool. She looks like fun too. I liked her Vogue move, where she's just fucking posing and the fans are flying around her.
Yeah, that is tight. That's gonna be fun in the corner, dude.
I like
her jump threw me off in the trailer. I thought her jump was a command leap, like Cheetah or some shit like that. I did not know that was her jump animation. Like, that was so crazy. I thought that was some sort of command.
Well,
like
she does have a dive that's like Cheetah.
Yeah, she has the little twisty thing going on too, but like her just regular jump animation threw me off hard. I did not think that was her actual jump.
What does she have? She has the flutter back. And yeah, she's got some kind of like air dive kick type thing that she does, where she like goes fucking straight down at you.
I don't think that's going to be very good.
It's probably not. Man, nothing in this game is good. Everything's so unsafe. At least, well, listen, I just played Scorpion, so what do I know? But damn, was he unsafe all the time? It doesn't matter. That was the beta. That game wasn't balanced at all. That was fucking whatever. Different video game. Kitana looks good. I think Kitana looks hella good. Gameplay wise too. I think she does look fun. I don't remember who else they showed up. Oh, they talked about Cetrian a little bit. Do you have any thoughts about Cetrian?
No, not really. I honestly am not like, I'm not anti-Cetrian. I just didn't have a huge reaction to her. I'm not terribly interested in playing her, and although the fatality was cool and stuff, I just I don't have any real investment in that character. Yeah. Noob Saibot was a lot more interesting. That's probably one of the more interesting characters we've seen recently.
Yeah, he was really interesting. But I mean, he fucking better be.
And the Collector too. The Collector's amazing.
Are you gonna try out the Collector? Is he a tip type character?
I would say Kung Lao, Kitana, and Cassie are all, and if they fix Jade, are all priority over the Collector. I am interested.
Collector looks annoying to fight. That's definitely a thing with him.
Jade is a good example. If you take away the sex appeal, make it look like something cooler, and her Revenant costume is perfect. Great example.
Man, Jade's Revenant does look cool. She's got the fucking cloak and shit.
Yeah, that is so great. That's a great example of if you take the charisma out, replace it with something else. That's
I agree. That's a good call. And I hope that you can put that thing on a fucking human version of her. That's what everybody wants, though. Real hot take. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I don't remember though. Fucking the Collector has a lot of like stun or grab moves. Not grab moves like a throw. Just moves that like set you up for a free hit type Mortal Kombat move. You know what I'm talking about. He can wrap you up with Ebola. He can catch you with the fucking one of his fire abilities. Not like whatever shit he pulls out of his backpack. Whatever. A bunch of shit that he can stun you with. Capture state, Armand says. Yes, capture state. Thank you, Armand. And every time I see him doing that, it's like Ice Clone win. Why is it fucking like this dude can capture state you 6 ways to Sunday and the clone is just fucking out here because reasons. Like,
yeah, the Collector's going to be interesting because now that we know there's no custom variations, what I can't even imagine what they're going to do for a preset for this guy. I agree, it's very strange.
And I mean, listen, shit can change. We'll see what's happening. And you're right. He probably won't have a bunch of those like sorts of tools at least stacked on top of each other for like a single variation, and a lot of them probably won't make the cut at all. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's a very real thing to think about. That'll be interesting to see because that dude has a lot of tools. Yeah, I guess that covers all the news shit, so I guess we can jump into questions if you're ready. I'm actually really looking forward to questions this time because of all this shit that I've been thinking about for the past like weeks and 10 past 2 and everybody has dealing like coming off this news and recalibrating the variation thing. Like the questions are so fucking random and weird a lot of the times that like gets great because I don't want to, you know, I've spent all this time fucking thinking about whatever this bullshit is. Let's think about someone else's bullshit. And boy, if there's one thing you can count on, it's finding some interesting bullshit in the Warrior Shrine questions. So make sure if you're listening to the Warrior Shrine, come over on the Discord and ask us some bullshit questions or good questions. Either way, they're all good. Some are just better than others. You can ask us on YouTube too. The Discord is a place where we just usually are. You should come join us anyway. You know, fucking just jump on. There's no barrier to entry. I don't think there's any rules. I'll check with the cops, but no, there's no rules. You can come in. You can join us. Just come hang out. It's fine. Trip us up. Okay, up first. The Gab Standard asks, what was your guys' best and worst tournament experience? Now, the Gab Standard is assuming a lot. I have like the tiniest fucking sample pool of tournament experience. So what was yours, Temp?
My worst tournament experience, probably Texas Showdown. That was my first regional I ever went to. And that was the famous event where they ran out of space for the NetherRealm players, so they put a tournament setup in the bathroom for them to play a match. To this day, that's still a famous event. And it was so hard because I was trying to watch matches, and they put our fucking setups in the hallway on the way to the bathroom. So there was like, if you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to fucking like Gumby through all these NetherRealm players. But like sometimes I was watching a match and I'm like, man, I could really go to the bathroom right now, and you can't move. Like, it was hard to talk to other players. I was watching my friend Fito. He's from Houston, but he came to the San Antonio scene to play with us a lot. And in the middle of his match, the fucking power went out on his console. Not the venue, just his console.
Oh, God.
So
what game was this? Like, was this MK9?
This was MK9.
Okay,
yeah.
Man. It sounds like a farce, but boy, legend, yeah.
It wasn't. There was a comic convention in Houston where the event was actually really well organized, but I played so poorly and I lost my first match to this shit Cabal player, all because like I didn't have a lagless monitor back then. So I was dropping my combos, and he was a shitty Cabal player, and I lost. I felt so bad. That was, I think, one of the worst tournament matches I've ever played. I was so mad at myself. I've had a lagless monitor pretty much ever since, and actually, and there were good things about that event too. I met K7 from the Combat Tune podcast, and he was super cool. I got to see Showtime. Again, we're not tight. I don't know him super well, but he's always been really cool to me. Star Charger, who was really a upfront player on the NetherRealm side. He's very I guess visible on the Twitter space for Mortal Kombat, which is great. His claim to fame is that the Europeans said they were going to body us at EVO 2012, and it was used for Glue, Foxy Grandpa, and the Twins. And Foxy Grandpa actually did really good, considering he got his head busted open before his matches. But I don't remember how well the Twins performed. And Used for Glue was also one of in that group, and he was a very, very good NetherRealm player. I know he used Cybersub. I don't know who he used in tournament. But a Star Charger beat him. And he popped off, and that went viral in the TYM community. And that's kind of why everyone knows who Star Charger was back then. Now he's just a really good Kitana player. Now he plays at tournaments. That's why everyone knows who he is. And so that dude was always super nice to me. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, tournament experiences. So yeah, those are my tournament experiences. And encompassing the worst of them. But props to all those guys.
I don't have fucking anything to add here. I mean, I played in like... I don't know, man. Fucking, I played in Mortal Kombat 9 day one tournament, like release night. I've talked about that a bunch because it's like one of the only tournament experiences I can really remember. I can't remember them anymore. I should try though. But fucking, yeah, against all those PS4, PS3 shitheads who had the demo for Mortal Kombat 9 and I didn't, and I still bopped a lot of them because I found and listened to some Tom Brady. That was the first time I'd ever listened or knew anything about Tom Brady. So, thanks, Lord Brady. You helped me bop some fucking cheaters. Jeez. That is like that's the only. I don't have a better story for that. Maybe I will one day, but I haven't been to many tournaments. I'm not that good. Let me see. Thanks for the question, Borsche.
Yeah, thanks for the question, dude.
Sick-ass avatar. What's that?
Bonus trivia. I talked to Star Charger. I didn't see the match live, but I ran into him after that match. I was sitting down playing casuals. Not playing casual. I was just sitting down watching a casual or something like that. And he's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, dude, I heard you beat Used for Glue. That's so tight. Congratulations, man. I didn't know Used for Glue was sitting next to me till like a month later when I saw a picture of him on TYM. And I felt so bad about that because even though I'm proud Texas, you know, did well, like I have a lot of respect for Use for Glue. So Use for Glue, if you're out there, I'm so sorry.
GG's, dude.
Thank you for everything you do, man.
That was Gab's question. Django.
I didn't know he looked like I knew he looked European.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right, Tim. I'm fucking up over here. No, you're good. Go for it.
No, that's all I got.
Okay. Man, Star Charger is there's got to be some lore behind that name. That's just a fucking sick name.
That is a really badass name.
It is a really fucking sick name. I fucking want to make a character called Star Charger in the game now, just because I don't fucking care. It's a sick ass name. Yeah, Lord Armand's right. Thank you, Armand. That was the Gab Standard who asked us what our best and worst tournament experience was. Thank you, the Gab Standard. I was just distracted by Borche's sick ass avatar because it's Reiko. So Borche asks, Temp and Django, have you guys done an episode that goes into detail on the terminology used for fighting games? I've been able to piece things together, but when looking them up online, it just confuses me more. Lol. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's hella gonna happen. We haven't done a full episode on just you know, jargon and terminology and whatnot, but we should. Like, that seems like a really good topic for an episode. And I mean, obviously it's gonna feel that way right now because you're just fucking piss babies on these episodes lately, and it doesn't feel as whatever. So I don't know. To me, that sounds a little like, you know, palate cleansing or something like that. I don't know. What do you think, though?
Yeah, I'd be down for doing one for like for stuff that applies specifically to MK11. I think it'd be really interesting. Yeah. For the other stuff, though, I would honestly just like at me in the Discord, and I'll try to explain it the best. Because like
our Armand does bring up a good point. That is what temp talks are for. So maybe we should just bring that back.
Yeah, we don't want to blow all our temp talks in a 60-minute episode.
But we also need to do temp talks sometimes. So
I think there's one coming up. I think there's one on the way.
Spoilers. But no, that is a really good question, Porsche, and it can be annoying and confusing whenever people are saying that shit, and you're just like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? Those aren't words." So listen, I feel you. We can do better than we can. We should do tip tops more often where we cover that shit. Thank you, Porsche. Man,
yeah,
great avatar stuff. Praetor asks, at Borche, we don't. No, he doesn't ask anything. Did he? I don't think he did.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he said the same thing you did. Snake Eyes? I think that's the next one. Yeah. Okay. Snake Eyes asks, do you think a dragon install style character would work in Mortal Kombat? A character that has an alternate form with powered up moves like Soul in GGXR for Guilty Gear. Oh, sorry. What am I thinking? For example, one of the cyborgs having an overdrive function, or Human Smoke having an Aninra install where he morphs into his demonic form for a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, basically fucking an anime character. You know, fucking, you can play Shinnok and he has a variation where you can, like, transform into Corruption Shinnok or some shit for a little bit. It's not a bad idea. I don't hate that idea at all. And it doesn't really even feel that far-fetched to me, but I guess they haven't done it that to anything as significantly to make it be like, okay, yeah, they have done that, that's what this character is. What do you think, Tim?
I think they've done this a few times in fighting games. I don't hate the idea, but most of the time when they do it, I don't think it works terribly well. I think the best execution I've seen of this idea is Nikali in Street Fighter V. But one of the reasons why that works so well is because the V trigger system is built around stuff like that, so that's his entire V trigger. I don't like the idea of blowing so many bars of meter to become a different character. I generally think this creates balance issues. The grand example is Dark Phoenix in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, who was dominant in basically Evo 2011. So it's not done right very often. Keelik is another example of this. I don't particularly love how it's handled with Keelik, because I think it's bad for both players. It's bad for the Keelik player because he's losing life for a very high risk situation. It's bad for the player because Keelik now has this dumbass unblockable move that I hate fucking dealing with. So I don't think it's fun for anybody. I would say if you're going to do this in Mortal Kombat, you would need to tie it around a crushing blow. Like if Smoke was in the game and he met a very specific crushing blow situation, he would turn into a Ninra and do the crushing blow attack, and then you get to be a Ninra for like 10 seconds. Something like that would be interesting. I don't want to see like, oh, Smoke blew both of his offensive bars, now he's fucking like, you know, like a Ninra person, whatever. No, I don't think that's terribly interesting. It would have to be done right, and honestly, it's very rare that it's right, but I'm not against the idea. So yeah, no, good question. Well, Django, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I feel like Killer Instinct's instinct mode is kind of like this. And, you know, because of that, every character has a little bit of something like this. Not as dramatic as some of the examples that we've given, but it's kind of the same concept, I think. And I don't think it's a bad idea for
That's a really good point.
Mortal Kombat. But I think it depends on the character and the usage. Like, no, I would not want to see it as an across the board mechanic like it kind of is in Killer Instinct. I'd want to see it on a character basis and executed really, really well. But no, I definitely think it's a good idea and it could work. I'd like to see it. Who was that? That was Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, thank you for the question. Bring anime into Mortal Kombat. Got it.
Thanks, dude.
Keely Clutch asks, do you think they will change things up with the lore, story by changing backstories? I think that's definitely going to be a thing that happens. I think that's to some degree, just with some characters anyway. They're going to change some characters' past, which is going to kind of, you know, change the present for a lot of these guys. For some of these guys, I don't know how, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That remains to be seen and up to the person watching. But yeah, I think there's going to be an element of that in MK11. What do you think?
I mean, we're already kind of seeing it with Cabal. In theory,
that's true.
It sounds like Cabal's not going to get his redemption story, which is disappointing because that's the most interesting thing about him is he's an asshole who underwent horrible injuries and developed this new perspective of empathy and became sort of like a proponent of justice. That's so cool to me. If that's gone because of the time changes or just because of story retcons, that would make me sad. So I think the answer is yes, just because we're kind of already seeing it. There's nothing to indicate Cabal is going to be. It sounds like they have they're very clear on how they want to proceed with Cabal now, and that's. I don't think this is probably just the beginning of.
It's really fucking hard because, you know, Razor was like really was and has been just adamant about like the different versions of characters and timeline shit's not gonna be that prominent of a thing because like you said, the example with Cabal, I'd be like, I mean, you know, it could be a thing where like if they do Revenant Cabal, that's gonna be the Cabal that we're aware of, and that was like the cop in Mortal Kombat 9 and all that shit. And the young Cabal is from a different timeline where he was a little bit more of an asshole, and is still very into the Black Dragon shit that he was doing with Kano and all that whatnot. And they're not the same dude. I have no idea if that's the case, but that's kind of. If that's not the case, I don't really fucking see the point of doing what they're doing, and there may not be a point anyway.
I think the point is they want to set up a reboot. I think that's...
which, again, is another stupid thing. So,
Agreed.
I don't like investing too much time in it because, you know, if you invest time in it, you are investing yourself in it. And I don't want to get that invested in the story because there's no fucking telling what they're doing. They have this bald alien that's in here doing whatever for whatever reasons. Right now it feels so like kind of random, and it is. Like, you know, this brand new character has just mixed up a bunch of different characters and thrown them all into the same pot together, and it is random. It is like fucking craziness. It is unpredictable, and none of us really knew this was going to happen. Anything like this. I wanted that fucking Outworld tournament, god damn it, and it didn't happen. So we'll see what happens, but for right now, I would like to think that something like what I'm suggesting is the case, and we are seeing different versions of these characters that aren't just past and present necessarily. And I hope that's the case too with Cabal, like Tim said. And there is there isn't just like just an asshole Cabal who's an asshole, dead or undead or whatever. That's all I got.
I appreciate the question, man.
Who's that? Keela Clutch. Thank you, Keela Clutch. Hell yeah, she's an alien, dude. I can't look at Chronica and like not see a cone head. She just doesn't have the cone. But other than that, she's just a weird, stupid, bald, fucking boy, not blonde. She hates hair. Bald alien chick who's just fucking with shit. Because I don't know why. Because whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of Chronica, in case you can't tell.
I'm fairly neutral on her. I don't have a in one way or another.
And I mean that's another part of the problem I have with her. God, what the fuck is that? Poot posts a question of crazy ass what are Chronica and the thing like. I like Cetrion more than her. I could say that much. Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I definitely like Shinnok more than her. Jesus Christ, she has some cool kids, and she blows chunks. God, that's stupid looking. Okay, stop posting it. You're throwing me off. Okay, Keela Clutch, you demand. Thanks. Where are we at? Jin Dead. Do you guys feel like in the old timeline, some new characters would be introduced a little too fast and not developed enough? Do you guys feel like in the old timeline, some new characters are being introduced a little too fast and not developed enough? I think that's what he meant. I think. Maybe. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like, we don't really know Aaron Black at all. Like, what is this dude about? And going from game to game, it's hard to tell. And there's several characters that are like that. I think I am glad that there are as many returnees from MKX as there are. Now, I know that a lot of people aren't, but I just really liked that group of new characters in MKX. Big fan. Definitely more than I like the new group of new characters in MK11 overall.
I feel the opposite, actually, but I really don't like the MKX new character part. With maybe like two exceptions.
No, yeah, and that's not an unpopular opinion. That's definitely out there. So it's just, you know, whichever side you see. But still both, like, yes, I feel like that is going to be a thing. Like, how much development are you expecting, Temp, for Garrus?
I don't know. Probably just gonna be a bunch, to be honest with you, yeah.
He died a bunch. Like, that's kind of what his deal is. I don't know if he has much more outside of that, really. Chronica, I feel like she is a walking plot device. Like, she's not much more than, like, she's kind of like Shinnok's amulet with a mouth. And I'm not expecting much for Cetrion either. Maybe Shinnok might get some development. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I hope so, yeah.
That would not be bad. That would be a good thing, because I like Shinnok a bunch. So, I mean, yeah, that's how I feel about it. You have any thoughts or feelings?
Not particularly, no. It's not that it's not a bad question. It's just it's hard to gauge with fighting games specifically. So, at least with the old timeline. With the new timeline, I feel like it's a bigger problem because we actually do have more resources. So there's less of an excuse, but nah, that's pretty much all my thoughts.
And I feel like I lucked out in a lot of ways with like Takeda. I feel like Takeda got a lot of development.
Yeah, he was well integrated. I like Takeda.
And especially if you cared at all about like the comics and shit. Like, I think on the like the first or second panel in the comics was Takeda, like overall, period. And we followed him for a while there, and
yes,
they did it really well there because his development went hand in hand with Scorpion development, which is another character that desperately needed some fucking development. And he got it, and it was sick as hell. Like, I fucking love what they did with Scorpion because of that, and I really liked what it did with Takeda because of that too. It had some interesting drama and character growth from both of them. So yeah, I feel like the MK tradition of having new characters that they don't stick with and they haven't developed quite enough, I kind of lucked out there with Takeda. That's probably a reason why I like Takeda. That's probably definitely a factor of why I like Takeda as much as I did. But I mean, you know, and hopefully he comes back and we get to see some more of that development continue, because they've already set up him to have more development. Like, it's right in front of him. Right there along with Kenshi and all that shit. And Scorpion. I think Takeda still makes Scorpion an infinitely more interesting character than he ever has been. And it's really weird that he's not in this game. But let's not go down that road. It's fine. Good question, though, Jin Dead. GG's.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Question from me. That is not a question. I'm just putting up the fucking episode there, like I did. GG's. Thank you, me. Keely Clutch asks, do you think all characters in MK11 will have equal number of certain tools for variations, that at least to make everything more balanced? Or do you or you think they just throwing a bunch of moves into variations randomly because it worries me for tournaments? Well, we have a lot more information on this than we did back then. No, it is not random at all. They are paying attention to, obviously, as they should, to the presets that are going to be used for competitive play, but right now we don't know what those presets consist of, so it's kind of it's going to be a surprise to all of us. As to whether or not I feel confident in what they're gonna into the two presets that are going to be available, that's an interesting question. We did catch a slight peek of that today on the stream. It was with Kitana, and I think Jax was the other one.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, how confident are you in their ability to go with and put together these variations?
Well, based off what we saw with Kitana's variations, it doesn't really appear that they're aiming for styles. And that's a good thing in my opinion. I don't think a variation should be style A, style B, and style C. No, it should just be a way to make all the tools as interesting and balanced as possible. I don't think they're meant to be different character philosophies. And that's why I always defend variations. People are like, oh, they're not viable counterpicking tools. Well, first of all, like that they're not supposed to be. But second of all, it's about, you know, playing the character in a way that's most interesting to you. I don't think you're meant to treat them as optimization tools. Because if that's the case, why even play the character? Play the best character, you dumbass. Just pick Alien or pick Cabal. Like, if you're trying to worry about optimization, I mean, not that optimization isn't important, but if you're trying to put that to the backdrop of your style, that's when variations became relevant. That's why they're important. So I think right now they're just trying to create different approaches to the character. I don't think they're meant to be like, this is the offense one, this is the defensive one. I think they will do that when it's convenient, but it doesn't look like that's what they're doing so far. It's going to be more like, this is the hat one and this is the boot one. That's more of like what it's going to be.
Which, yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the only way to do it, in my opinion. You can't make every character a zoner.
No.
Do you want like 25 zoning variations? Like, no.
Yeah. That's not...
not viable ones, at least.
That's still homogenizing characters. That's not really solving the problem of, like, every character can be a zoner, every character can be a grappler, every character can be whatever. Like, I mean, nah, there's more to it than that. And hopefully that is the case. I feel like it could be, but I'm kind of skittish about hope right now. So we'll see. Let's put it that way. But good question.
I appreciate the question.
Nada asks a very interesting question. If you had to live in a Mortal Kombat stage which would you choose? If you could live in a Mortal Kombat stage, which would you choose?
Oh, dude, like the tower from MK2, no doubt.
That's an interesting thing. Obviously, I'm going to say the Warrior Shrine.
It's a good one, but you're outside. Like, there's no AC. Like,
I don't know, but it does feel like, you know, it's like a garden. It's kind of relaxing, and I'm pretty sure there was a roof on it, wasn't there? I think there was a roof on it.
I don't think the Warrior Shrine had a roof, but I could be wrong about that.
There was definitely a roof on the version that appeared in Shaolin Monks, but that was a different situation.
Yeah, I haven't played Shaolin Monks in over 12 years.
I really think there was a roof on the Mortal Kombat 1 Warrior Shrine, but I could be wrong. I feel bad that I don't know that more firmly than I do, considering my history the past couple of years, but I think it did. I could be wrong. Somebody can blow me up if I'm wrong, and you probably will. But that actually is oh my god. Let me see. If there is a roof on the Warrior Shrine stage, that's where I'm gonna live. It's gonna be a thing.
I see the towers are on a sick ass view. It's like the carpet is really nice. And to tell you the truth, like,
Armand's looking over your shoulder all day.
Yeah, dude, the portal guard's gonna make sure you don't fall. There's no safety problems. It's great.
I don't know what those guys like. I don't know what they're watching you for. Like, are they keeping me from doing something? Are they gonna try to get me to, like, are gonna fuck with me in my sleep? Like, what are those guys fucking doing? I agree. The rest of it is pretty cool. It does look like a chill place. You're fucking up in the clouds and shit. You're chill. The carpet is nice. You know. Poot says it had pillars, so I assumed there's a roof. That might have been part of my assumption too, man. But I really felt like there was something that looks like some Sega Genesis shit, though. I don't know if that's really helpful, but whatever. This is the biggest mystery it's ever plagued Mortal Kombat. Did the Warrior Shrine have a roof? It is a Sega Genesis thing. Boom, motherfucker. God. The question continues, but those are still our answers, Nada. So thank you for your question. It's gonna haunt us. Yeah, dude. Warrior Shrine. Evan asks, if you were to name a podcast after a Mortal Kombat stage, which would you choose? What the what's wrong with this? He got me there. Like, he really did. I had no idea where that was gonna go. That was a mix-up. I just face planted. You can answer that if you want. I don't.
I think it's a good one. The Soul Chamber.
Yeah, that's not bad. It does sound like a not awesome 90s band. I'm probably just thinking of Soul Asylum, though. Not the Combat Tomb? No, not the Combat Tomb. That sounds a little sad. Shout outs to whoever posted this image of the Warrior Shrine up from something that I worked on. Glad you guys got our graphics handy. GG's. But you could be right. Damn, it's not looking good for me. Right case. It may not have a roof. I may have just gotten fucked. Yeah, I think I got fucked. Okay. GG's. Thanks, Prebblefoot, for blowing me up. I appreciate it. You guys keep me honest. Did we answer his question? That wasn't a fucking question. God, Evan. He's not bad at what he does. Okay. Liam asks, "Hi guys, I got a question for you. I'm a casual player and will freely admit that I struggle to string combos of more than 3 or 4 hits together. Dyslexia means I don't have the dexterity for long combo strings, but I'm usually quite good at remembering special moves and so on. Of the characters you've seen so far, which character do you think will be the most effective for me to learn if I want to try and play competitively online?" To me, that is an easy question because they said as much when they were showing him off, Noob Saibot. They specifically said that. They said that he's got like 7 strings. He's got a tiny number of strings compared to the rest of the cast. In this game that already has like not sprawling move lists, just going from what we saw in the beta. They made a point of saying on the Combat Cast that he is a character that's kind of built around his special moves and how they function. So he doesn't have as many strings because he's not going to be relying on that as much as a lot of characters are. And that's probably for very good reason, because Noob is flashy and cool looking as hell. So, you know, it's not hard to grab the character and do well with him, because how you do well with Noob sounds like it doesn't take the same things that some other characters do, which does not make that mean any less. Does not make winning with him mean any less at all. It's just, you know, that's what his deal is. And so going from what they said, it sounds like they would recommend you Noob in MK11. What do you think, Tim?
I don't, this one's tough because I don't have dyslexia. I have very, very mild dyslexia. It doesn't affect the way I read or write or handle numbers or anything, but I do struggle with left or right. When people say look right, I will look left and have to correct myself. So I have very, very mild dyslexia. My uncle had dyslexia, very serious dyslexia, where he couldn't learn to read, like without, you know, serious assistance and whatnot when he was younger. I'm not sure. I like the Noob answer because I think that covers a lot of grounds. But based off your statement, so I'm a casual player and I will freely admit that I struggle to do strings of more than 3 or 4 hits. Okay, so that tells me you can at least do 3 or 4 hits on your strings so far, right? What I would do is I would pick at least at first, I would pick your favorite character and do what you can. Learn those 3 or 4 hit strings, and then, you know, if your dyslexia gets in the way, give it like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. See if you can learn a bread and butter combo despite your dyslexia. And because this might be something you can overcome. I've heard of people, you know, bypassing their dyslexia with certain strategies, with certain approaches, with like time exercises and stuff like that. I would give it a try and see how far you can get. Because my theory is once it gets in your muscle memory, you may be good to go. But try that first. If that doesn't work, dude, then yeah, I would try a character that doesn't rely on heavy bread and butter sequences. But I would try both. I mean, if you can get 3 or 4 hits sequenced together in a string or into a cancel, that's pretty good, dude. Like that's a huge cornerstone of NetherRealm combo construction. So yeah, see how far you can get with a character you like. And if you lab it for a few days and you're still running into problems, try a simpler character that doesn't rely heavily on combo execution. And on the side, I would keep practicing anyway, just see what happens, you know? Because you never know. I don't think the dyslexia, if it's really serious, then it's true. There's maybe nothing you can do about it. But if you can at least get those 3 or 4 hits, I think that's a really good sign, dude. I would just pick a character. If you can't overcome this, I would pick a character that doesn't rely on the same heavy combo sequences, and then maybe keep practicing on the side to see if this is something you can overcome. And yeah, let us know how it goes, man. We wish you luck.
Oh yeah. I might have grabbed a bite of something.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Listen. Don't blow me up. Good question. And it sounded like Tim had some really good advice. I hope that between the two of us, you know, we can help you out. Feel a little more confident with this game. God damn it. Okay. Thanks for the question, Liam. You're a badass.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Play Baraka. Yeah. God damn it. Oh. Damn it. I've already answered some of these, but I guess I could do it again. I played the beta. I played against both Wi-Fi and wired people just to see what it felt like. That's what I did. What'd you do, Temp? Did you fucking discriminate?
It depends. Honestly, if I was able to get a good connection, I would go for that first. If I was searching without finding anything after about 10 minutes, I would just take whatever. And usually the connections were still pretty good. But I mean, for me, like for betas, I feel like you should play as many people as you can, and if you really, unless it's like red, I usually did not deny people on the final days of the beta. I usually just took them. You're still eating, aren't you?
No. We're good. I was going to ask, did you notice any big differences between wired and non-wired just whenever you notice that little thing pop up?
Sometimes. Most of the time when I had a connection problem, it was just underwater. Like the whole thing would just crash. It was very rare that I had intermittent internet connection issues. Most of the, I mean, sometimes you get stutters, but they were few and far in between. Usually I had a pretty good connection, and it would stay good. They would glitch out every once in a while, but usually it was fine.
So you didn't have like much like variable connection shit? That shit is the worst.
A little bit, but nothing huge. Like I was more discriminating on the first beta. On the second beta, I tried to get as many matches as I could, and I just played really whoever.
All right. Well, I mean, I hope that answers your question, some Dav God.
Yeah, thanks for the question, dude.
Absolutely. Cartuthlo asked me, and I think I already answered. I think. No, maybe not. Cartuthlo asked Django, "Do you think there will? do you think there will be a character or characters on the roster that you are not currently a fan of that the story could potentially change your mind?" Okay, I did answer that, and I said, yeah, it's possible. Like, you know, I think that kind of happened with Devora a lot in MKX. I think playing through story mode and shit made me like her more. But she already had a really cool design that I dug, so that helps too. It's like a twofold thing, and you got to have a cool design. You got to look cool. And Evan can shut the fuck up because I'm not going to play Jackie. And Devora looks really cool this game. I think she looks better in this game than she did in last game. I really like how kind of rough she looks. Like, she looks like a fugitive, and she should. She does not look as pretty and healthy in this game, and I think that works a lot. I think that works well for her. But yeah, totally. The story mode could make me like a character afterwards more than I did before. But you know, among the new characters, Collector Garrus and Sarah, whatever her name is, I'm not expecting that to happen. It could, I guess, but like, I don't want to play Cetrion. I don't like what she does. I don't like her game plan. It's not to say it's a bad game plan. It's just not the way I want to play the game. And so if there was one, it would be Collector, and I'm already kind of cool with Collector. He's not bad. So, you know, I'm already halfway, like meeting him halfway. So that's kind of how I feel about it. What do you think, Tim?
Not much. I don't have strong feelings on the story stuff at this time, but yeah, I don't know, dude. Like,
yeah.
Any question regarding like sort of like the new roster or the current roster or just a change of hearts, it's just so difficult. But I guess if we're going by history, I did have a change of heart on a lot of the MKX characters. Going into MK11, Koda looks better. Cassie looks a lot better. So pull up the fucking select screen. Let's take a look. Okay,
we have a good one.
Did you get the latest one? Right?
Did you get the dank one, the new one, the new select screen from today?
Yeah, I got the new one. I wish I had gotten it better because I did a print screen. It still says Twitch TV is now full screen. It looks like shit.
Well, here, I'll drop this in here then.
No, it's cool. I got this shit.
I'm dropping it. It's already dropped. It's going to be dropping.
Maybe Aaron Black might be the biggest candidate because I've already had a change of heart on a lot of characters like Baraka and stuff like that. So, I mean, Aaron Black, I don't really care for much. I think he's really boring. And I don't love the... I'm just not crazy about the whole, I hung out with Kano this one time and now I'm in Outworld. I think that's not super cool. They took a lot of Cobra's qualities and transplanted them on Aaron Black, which I don't love. So maybe he'll have a chance to to sway me. We'll see.
I mean, I'm already in the bag for Aaron Black. I like Aaron Black a lot, and I like him much better in this game now that he is in a game with animation. Because boy, MKX fucking sucked in that department really bad. I like that he's got his hat, and they don't make you lose your hat because of variation bullshit. It's fucked up. And Aaron Black's gonna be one of the characters that I try out to. But I'm not expecting the story to make me like him more or less. Like, I don't fucking care. His gameplay is what's gonna make me like him or not like him, and we're just gonna have to find out. We're going to find out what they're gonna give us for competitive too. Who knows, man?
Yeah. It's hard, man. It's super. I think I've already. I think the boat has sailed on Aaron Black's gameplay. I wasn't into it.
It is different than it was. Like, he does not feel like a Sonic Fox character as much anymore. To my eyes.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. They definitely made him calm down quite a bit on the. I mean, that's most characters MK11, but I do think he's definitely not as YOLO as he used to be. Real quick address to our friend of the show, Evan. We covered the divorce stuff mostly already, but for the most part, I think she's actually not as bothersome as she was in MKX. There's less like orifices opening up and shooting out foreign matter. That stuff's gone. Not gone, but it's just not. It doesn't bother me. The way it's animated isn't as bad in my opinion. Though I do hate the shoulders because I have trypophobia. So those big dark openings in her shoulders, like where her delts are, that shit fucks me up bad. I love her fatality. Her fatality, I think, is the sickest shit. But anyway, yeah, go on, Jingo.
What? I don't remember where we were. Did we answer the question? Did we finish
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Cartuthalo, you the man. Even though you left.
Thanks, Cartuthalo.
And I also would like to say, as I always do, fuck you, Evan. Cowboys are not dumb, and chimp. Just fuck. I mean, it's like sticking your head in shit and being like, it smells good down here. Like, dude, you're just fucking being a retarded person. What are you doing? No one, come on. Get good. By the way, that was one of the weirdest fucking metaphors I've ever made in my life. Sleeping, dude. But seriously, get your head out of there. Armand asks, what is your favorite defensive mechanic of all time in fighting games? Could that mechanic be better? If so, how would you make it better? Tim, you take the lead on this one.
MK9 jab anti-airs. And no, you can't make it better. And no, I want to change anything about it. Thanks for the question, Armand.
Man, that was a good one.
I mean, you could say that one too. You probably should say that one too.
I wouldn't. I would say parries.
All right, that's a good. I mean, well, what game though?
I would say third strike parries, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Answer.
I don't want to get into like how could it be better, how would I make it better. Like I've had ideas for how to make it better, and it's hard. It's just hard. Let's put it that way.
Well,
it's not easy.
We'll go on, yeah.
No, that's all I was gonna say. It's just fucking. It's not. It's delicate. It's a very delicate thing.
Okay. In that case,
that's all I got.
Armand says his jab anti-air is a mechanic, though. Technically, I mean, it is in the broadest sense.
What the hell are you talking about? You making addendums to your own questions? Come on, man. Yes, it's a mechanic.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, like, if you want like a more specific mechanic, maybe the Marvel One character assist, I think is really interesting. But the problem is, you could use that. You could just as easily use that offensively. But generally, because it could be offensive, defensive, or zoning. But I usually use it offensively. Because it was like a fishing tool. I knew if Psylocke were to catch someone and her side drill, that meant I could just do Venom Web and there's nothing they could do about it, and that was so sick. So I don't know, Aramon. Maybe I'll get back to you on that one. But for now, in the broad sense, I'd have to say just jab anti-airs in Mortal Kombat 9 are really sick.
Boy, are there's something, bro. They're interesting. I don't dislike them, but they're interesting. I might call them tech more than I would a mechanic, as far as the context of this question goes. But I'm not gonna fucking make you pick another one.
What makes it difficult is there's not many mechanics that are prone just to defense.
You're right.
Yeah, so I'm like, because I'm not gonna pick the fucking breaker or wager. Fuck that shit.
Pick the breaker. You could pick like flip outs and breakaways, and push block and all that shit. But I'm including parries because I'm doing it. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting topic, but no, I like your answer and don't change it. Keep it. Thanks for the question, Armand.
No, thanks for the question, dude.
And that leads us on to Armand's temp talk question. Hope you're ready for this, Temp. Please explain to people what a cara cancel is.
I mostly know it from Third Strike. So a cara cancel basically is when you whiff a normal, and because you whiffed the normal, you've sort of momentarily extended the your hitbox for throws. So most characters, I think all characters, I'm pretty sure most characters had a cara throw in Third Strike, where you whiff a normal and you go immediately into the throw, and for whatever reason your throw has a much better hitbox, and you can throw people from much further ranges. Cara doesn't stop at throws. You can cara other things, but they're not common. Most games don't have a cara strategy that I know of. Third Strike is the one that's most famous. There's one more that I'm trying to think of that I can't think of right now. I think even MKX had some cara shit in it, but Third Strike is where I know it from the most. Marvel 2, I'm sure Marvel 3 has some cara stuff too. But I mean, they're very rare. You don't see that mechanic used often, or you don't see it often at all. In games that do have it, Third Strike's the only one I know where it really affected the meta. But yeah, so that's our temp talk for today. The extending your hitbox by whiffing a normal, or I guess you could whiff anything as long as it's fast and extends your hitbox for another attack or a throw.
Boom! Get talked. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, Armand. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
And you're right. We need to do temp talk more often. Fucking perform an educational service here, man. AIM, is it AIM or AIM? What do you think?
I like AIM.
AIM, I like AIM better too. AIM Dopeness asks, does Kitana now look like the best female ninja in this game in terms of gameplay and combo potential? Bruh. Yeah, I'm gonna give this to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I mean, that is my answer, but I'm also gonna give it to you.
In terms of gameplay and combo potential, I don't know. That's hard. She only has one combo extender that I know of, and that's the Whirlwind. But I guess you could, in theory, do combo extensions on a jump kick fan. I don't know how that works on an EX Air fan, but so maybe.
Did you watch that today? The breakdown? I don't remember what you said you watched.
Yes, I did watch Kitana's.
Okay.
So yeah, she might. Of the female ninjas, I mean, truth be told, all Scarlet really has for a launcher is going to be, outside mid-screen at least, is going to be 2-1-2. So I guess yes, just because Kitana actually has a combo starting special. Scarlet does not have that outside of the corner that I can think of. So yeah, well, I guess yes is the answer. I don't think she's the best looking design in the game. Even though I think she looks good, I've been very critical of her design, thinking that it's kind of boring. It's a little overly simplified. I think they did a much better job on Jade and Scarlet in terms of design detail. And that kind of went my whole philosophy of this is what happened. This is the danger of pants. So yeah, but overall I think she looks good on both gameplay and design for the most part. Criticisms aside.
All I know about the combo shit is like I saw some examples of them doing like Kitana bullshit, like MK9 shit, like juggles with her fans, like, and doing that kind of shit. Boo boo boo, fucking fan juggle thing, go into another string, more fan juggles bullshit. Like, there's some of that shit going on. And in a game where it feels like somehow I was given the impression from playing the thing and from listening to other people and playing the thing some more, like this isn't the most combo heavy Mortal Kombat ever. This is the most juggle heavy Mortal Kombat ever. Like, seeing Kitana do that stupid Mortal Kombat 9 bullshit where she's like popping you up and then like juggling you with fan tosses and all this shit, like, it felt like that kind of Kitana, like a Mortal Kombat juggly type bullshit. It looked like that to me. Now I don't know how that shit's gonna work out in play, but I'm not gonna be surprised if it's there because of fucking 16-bit running shit for her and being so much of a Kitana, fanboy, and designing her fucking variation, he said, or at least one of them, the competitive ones. So I'm sure that shit's gonna be in there because that dude likes to chuck fans. So doing fan juggles are probably gonna be a thing. I don't know, like, am I making that up? I feel like that those sorts of juggles and that vibe of combos and whatnot aren't as prominent in Mortal Kombat 11.
I mean, everyone suspected that they might get more advanced as time goes on. I feel like that sentiment is diminishing more and more as we see more of the... So, you're right, it's not as combo heavy. I hope that changes a little bit. I actually don't think the combo system is bad now. I just wish there was more hard shit. But yeah, it's we'll see.
Thanks for the question, AIM.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, dude.
Poot asks, Django, what is your favorite letting your hair down moment? Letting down your hair moment. At Borsche, I can help with that. Here's some homework. Arkansas doesn't have tournaments. Temp, did you watch Eris's die laughing at Kitana's fatal blow?
I did. It was very funny. Even though I mostly have good things to say about Kitana, her fatality and her fatal blow are they're whack. They're super whack.
Man, her bouncing off her ass. It's so weird.
And her opponent bouncing off her ass at the same trajectory. It's
true.
Didn't make any sense.
I don't know. For me, the opponent bouncing off their ass was like, it's like Injustice type shit, right? It's like a ground bounce thing.
Yeah.
For some reason, Kitana like falling back on her ass and then bouncing right back up is a little funnier. Maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe they're both the same as far as retardedness goes. But I also know that Kitana loves ass blasting people in the air. Like, that's one of her fucking, signature moves. And so I think there might be some ass lore that we don't know about.
I mean, I feel like there would have been an easy way to fix it. Like, after she does she does the drop kick into the fans and pushes them deeper into your head, I would have used like the wind powers to elevate to levitate both characters, and you get almost the exact same effect. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I feel like there would have been a very easy thing.
Which makes you feel like it should make you feel like it's on purpose. Like, no, we want her to bounce on her ass like it's a fucking beanbag or some shit.
It's honestly, this whole character's rushed. That's honestly why I think they had the Melina shit. Is they just ran out of time. Because I think the fatal blow was super indicative of that. I don't know why someone would have said, like, on the drawing board, and then they both, Kitana and the opponent, bounce off their ass random. I find that very hard.
But like, it's Mortal Kombat, dude. Like, there are bits of humor that's like very intentional, like fucking Cetrion brainiacking everyone from space. Actually, not everyone. Her brainiacking what should be everyone, but turns out to be one person from space is fucking retarded. But it's a little bit of that Mortal Kombat bullshit that's part of Mortal Kombat.
As I talked about earlier, I have a fix for that too. I think there's an easier way to fix it. I don't think they
want it fixed though. Like, I think that's kind of the deal, that they want it. And I liked your fix. I liked your version better, but I think they want it a little bit dumb.
Yeah, we'll see.
I do like your version better. Did you say that version on the random?
I did. Yeah, they got the premiere.
It's fine. It's cool. Fucking, she blows you up. She fucking nukes and just chilling there in Fallout Land. The most out of character thing that character could possibly do. Yes, I would have liked to see it. That would have been time. I mean, it's already a blow up, dude. Like, you fucking saw her intro. Like, hey, House Codal, I gotta kill you now. Like, this character is hilarious. She's fucking throwing rocks at you, boulders, and being like, "That's his mercy." she's pretty fucking. I think
she's the new
Kung Lao,
yeah.
I think she's the funniest character in this game right now until somebody shows her up. All things considered.
That was always the joke with Kung Lao, was that he would be saying "Give me the chance" while he's dragging your balls across a spin blade. It's great.
Definitely, I have no problems with that shit. Let me see. Poot, what did you ask? What is your favorite letting your hair down moment? I don't know what that means. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I work here. I'm going to ask for a addendum, and Poot says to relax, learn the lore. Okay, this is IRL shit. This is not video game shit. This is not like what I'm doing to let my hair down in Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat in general. I'm asking. I hate you.
Well, I think the essence of the question is, what are you doing for fun when you're not playing fighting games?
Okay. See? That
right,
I understand loud and clear.
Let me know if I'm fucking Poot.
I'm not tired of talking about Mortal Kombat. I said that? I don't remember saying that. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Oh, look, fucking Brusque Poet's in the chat. God. Piss baby. Let's, I don't know. What do I fucking do to let my hair down? I know what letting your hair down means. That's a good question. Whenever I am letting my hair down, I work on something else. I mean, listen, I've said it before, and it's true. If I could, I have to fucking tell my wife. I have to remind my wife every fucking day about it. Listen, I've never been accused of being any fun, and it's true. Like, you know, whenever I get some time to like not have to like do work, I work on something else. I work on like a personal project, or like, you know, and right now one of my personal projects is the EV game. So that's a, you know, that kind of like is a cross pollination and a cheat answer, but they are kind of the same thing. And you know, before I was doing that, whenever I'm not doing work shit, like I was working on fucking like a Castlevania remake or something, like, you know, whatever, like that kind of shit. Yeah, sure. Play music, making shit. That's what I do when I'm letting my hair down.
I want to play the role of Poot here and say, okay, it sounds like when you're trying to unwind to get away from work, you work. That's the impression I'm getting here.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's kind of what I do, which sounds boring. It doesn't even sound like a good answer. But like, I don't really do that much beyond that shit.
Do you play basketball?
No.
Do you play checkers?
I'm aware of other things that one could do.
Do you have an outside activity that you like to do for an extended period of time?
Not especially.
Do you have an affinity for board games, maybe? Oh shit, you're a musician. Fuck, of course. No. You play music, dude. But that, you know, to be real though, like that's the hardest work of all for doing real talk right now.
It's one of those things. It's I can't think of the word. It's not a craft necessarily, but it is a work of sort. Like, yeah, it is definitely, you have to practice it. You have to, you know, be disciplined and have at least a degree of those things in order to do it. So there is a lot of that does feel like work a lot of the time.
I haven't
it's discipline.
Well, yeah, and that has its own reward, of course. But
It do.
when I play bass, I will play like 4/8 notes into an arpeggio at like 105 BPMs.
Right?
And then every 2 minutes, I raise it by 1 BPM, and I do that either for like an hour and a half or until I hit 140 BPMs. That's my bass regiment. And then if I master that arpeggio, I go into another one. It's not what I call leisure by any means, but I do it because I love it.
Yeah. You're making me feel bad now because I don't fucking I don't workshop anywhere near as much as I used to with guitar. I wish I would. But yeah, I used to do stuff like that too. I had exercises out the wazoo that I would do, and I just don't do them anymore. I wish I did.
That's every musician to a point, though. I do them more. Well, anyway, yeah, we're getting to Tonewood territory. We gotta be careful. So.
Well, I mean, but okay, you answered the question though, because we don't get to fucking single people out here. What do you do to let your hair down, Tim?
I mean, I drink and watch, and that's pretty much my work night.
You cut out right after you said you watch, which is funny.
I drink and watch anime pretty much.
Yeah.
That is the ender, because I've been studying a lot lately, right? And after I'm done studying, there isn't a whole lot of evening left. It's like, oh my god, I just finished studying, and I have to go to bed for work in 2 hours. And I am just so stressed. So what drinking does is it lowers my anxiety, so I can do my leisurely things without having to work. Because otherwise, if I just go straight into, like, I don't know, Borderlands, or if I go straight into Fruits Basket, the anime, then I'm worrying about work the whole time I'm doing that. So 4 or 6 beers really mitigates that stress and lets me really enjoy my evening. Once studying's over, I'm throwing out all the alcohol. Mostly because I want to get back into shape. But yeah.
No, that fucking that was me a lot of the time until work spun up as much as it does with the EB guys, and then it became a situation where it was just, I would say, yeah, you know what, that's not, I guess that's going on, because we all work from home, basically. We're spread out, and we don't go to an office, so because we work from home, like, you can kind of work always, whenever, and because of that, like, it was always a situation where I obviously I enjoy working like in those sorts of ways anyway, so I kind of wanted to be like, I didn't want to nerve myself for the rest of the day, or something like that, something that would inhibit me from being able to work. If something popped up,
oh yeah, definitely
something like that, but I didn't do it consciously. That was the weird thing. Like, I started doing that. It's like, oh, you know, well, not today. And then, you know, next time, you know, not today. And it goes on and on and on. And I haven't drank for a really long time now. I'm kind of not out of practice, but you know what I mean. But before then, it was the same deal. It just kind of like takes a shortcut to help unwind after shit. And like not think about the stuff that you're always thinking about anyway. Or at least gives you an opportunity to do that.
And you know what? Like, to be clear, I do not condone or promote drinking for stress relief. It's horribly unhealthy.
Yeah.
I do it because life is extremely hard right now, and that small window of leisure time, like, it reduces stress so I can enjoy other things. But this will not last forever because I need to stop ruining my body. So yeah. That got really personal. That's what I do when I let my hair down, Poot. So yeah.
Listen, it's not, I mean, it's not that personal. I think people, listen, a few people out there drink. It's a thing. And everybody drinks for different reasons in different ways. They have different strats, different tech. And these are probably some of the more common techs. Strats. Evan asked me to get swole, and you know what? Get fucked. I'm just not. Listen, I'm just not about that life. Sorry, man.
I like vegetables.
Maybe one day. Probably not.
I used to jog. I hope to jog again pretty soon.
Man, see, don't fucking.
Lettuce is cool.
Yeah, I know. I had a running joke about the salads.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, dude, fucking salads and cousin fucker. It's the deep Django lore. When's the face reveal? D4? Like, why? Like, that's not. That's not. Whatever. That's not something to look forward to.
All right, we gotta move along now. I gotta study.
Let's kick it up.
Yeah. And the
Arkansas has salad. Arkansas is salad, motherfucker.
I think the last question is really interesting. So,
where is it?
Well, I mean, the next question is not the last question, but the next question is
AIM.
Yeah, our buddy AIM.
Okay, you want to read it? You can take the lead on this one.
Sure. Another question: do you guys think crushing blows will be unbalanced? It feels like some characters' crushing blows have higher damage with easier execution than others. For example, Cabal's crushing blows were easy and strong, and the beta compared to others. Historically, yes. I don't think this is something that is necessarily their fault. It's just there's too many options to balance. It is a little weird that Jade's crushing blows were so hard to access. However, one of the cool things about crushing blows is even if characters have hella good crushing blows and others have shit crushing blows, I feel like this doesn't hurt the meta as much. Basically, what it does is it yields characters more damage opportunities. Which I'm not going to say is a factor, but it's not like an instant air gas blast or like Cyrex's 1 meter 100% combo, or it's not like, you know, Kung Lao like whiffing dive kick like a dumbass for fucking like 20 seconds. It's something that is not immediately accessible, and I feel like if your crushing blows are not good enough, your fundamentals can compensate. But if your crushing blows are too good, you don't have immediate access to them. So even though I think there will be an imbalance among the crushing blows, I don't think it's going to be a long-term problem that we're not going to fix quickly, and I don't think it'll break the game. It'll just make certain characters really dumb to fight against, but I don't think it's going to create any really big balance issues.
Good answer. Man, I'm just looking forward to
watch me be super wrong when the game comes out, but yeah.
No, I mean, this is another one of those things that I am thinking about whenever I say stuff like, I'm really looking forward to Mortal Kombat 11 XL. Like, this stuff's just going to evolve, and I'm interested to see what people do with it rather than NRS. And I feel like there's so much of that in this fucking game because they just announced it on January, and there's been so little time with the public having their fucking hands on it. It's ridiculous. Good question, AIM.
Yeah, thanks for the question, dude.
And we're down to... This is the last question?
Yeah,
Timmy's?
We gotta kill this one quick, too.
Okay, Timmy says, alright, I want to know your guys' stance on the Sekiro thing going on. Oh, right, fucking sorry. Whenever I was letting my hair down, there are video games I like to play, obviously. Bloodborne is a fucking big one. It's tight, and Bloodborne is actually really relaxing. I would like to play more Sekiro when I get the chance. Okay. Timmy asked, alright, I want to know your guys' stance on the Sekiro thing going on right now. Is this a spoiler question?
No, it's
spoilers
not.
In here?
You're
okay. Alright. The whether or not it should have an easy mode thing, in my opinion, I don't think any game needs an easy mode, and to force it on them would fuck with their vision. It's their work of art. And it's the choice, it's their choice to add it. Your opinion? I do not think it is an opinion as to whether or not it is their choice to add it. They're the developers, they can do whatever the fuck they want. As to whether or not it would be good for, like, the game? You know what? This is one of those things where it is a case-by-case basis. It is not a thing that is, like, you know, universal. In FromSoft's hands, no, they're more than competent enough to know what they're doing and how they're doing it and to do it well. So much so that they have put single player gaming back on the map. They did. Because that fucking Xbox 360 generation, like, you know, it's fucking forever cemented how, you know, the conference dudes came out there and they fucking were saying, I don't remember, was it Xbox or somebody, but it's like, yeah, fucking single player is dead. Everybody wants the multiplayer component, and that's just the way that things are going, and, you know, that's kind of the deal. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes fucking FromSoft Dark Souls, and it's like, eat shit, bitch, and they did eat shit. Big time. And those guys that made that happen, they are absolutely capable of being the judge of what is best for their game as far as the experience they want to cultivate. Not every developer is as competent about that, but they are. So anyone who thinks Sekiro is too hard, man, I've heard that song so much about FromSoft games. Shut the fuck up, man. They're hard. Don't fucking come to like the hard game be like too hard. What were you expecting? Okay, that's my stance. Tim, do you have an opinion?
I mostly agree. I think what made From Software so successful is that they challenged players and they took players seriously. And I think that went viral, and it took a long time to get like mainstream traction. I really feel like it wasn't until Dark Souls 3 that, you know, Dark Souls really kind of memed its way through the gaming culture. But the whole point is finding something really hard and overcoming it and getting that feeling of satisfaction, which I feel like gamers have not had in a long time. But the important thing is you had to do it. You don't get the reward unless you overcome the super difficult obstacle. So if you put it in easy mode, so many people are just never going to get to experience that. And you're going to take that away from them. It's like fighting games and execution. Yes, you can make the game easier to play, but you also remove the reward by doing that, and people are not going to be interested. I think that's one of the big factors of why Injustice 2 had trouble sticking. Because the successful things in that game just did not feel satisfying. So I think for the genre to work, you can't give people an alternative. You have to give them some motivation to do the really hard shit, because that's what defines those games, and that's where the reward comes from. And no one else is providing that right now. Not really, except for From Software, and debatably Team Ninja maybe. So yeah, it's such a rare, like a precious, you know, commodity, I guess, and I don't want to lose that. And if you put it in easy mode, you're gonna take that away from a lot of people. Now, does that mean some people are not going to get to experience it? Some people will not have the determination and motivation to beat a Souls game. And yes, that's unfortunate, but if you put it in easy mode, they still didn't get that. They still don't get the benefit of playing the game properly and the reward of overcoming something really hard. So they still lose, in my opinion. I mean, if they want the story, they can YouTube that shit. Or they can read a PDF for Bloodborne, you know? I just feel like you're not solving anything by putting it in easy mode. And you're ruining what makes those games unique. And you're taking away one of the only genres that's really giving people a level of satisfaction on difficulty. No one else is really doing that right now, except for From Software and fighting game developers. And even fighting game developers are losing their grip. So that's my thoughts.
Yep. Couldn't agree with that more. And that was a good question, Tibby.
That's a fantastic question. Thank you, sir.
Proud of you. You come a long way. And Down for Reality asks, BB2 win? Dude. Next gen, probably.
These were all good questions, by the way. Thank you so much, guys. We always super appreciate it.
That was a really fucking good round there. And listen, I hope that you guys liked it on YouTube. I hope so. If you did, join us on the Discord. Ask us weird questions. We'll give you weird answers. And we take these things very seriously. Sometimes we take these questions a little too seriously. But, I mean, listen, that's what you're in for. We're not gonna fucking fuck around and give you unless you're an Evan, and give you a shitty answer. Listen, by the way, Evan, you're still friend of the show, Evan. You know, be cool. Everything's good.
Like, literally, your name is friend of the show, Evan.
That is your name. It's still true. So just, you know, come join us on the Discord. Ask us questions. Trip us up. Hit us with your 50/50s. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Tip?
No, I'm good. I mean,
do you think that we'll be back in here before launch or no?
I hope so, but no, I don't think so. I say I hope so because something really big would have to happen for me to, you know, turn on the mic and open up a browser and do a Warrior Shrine episode. I mean, they'd have to announce something very big, like
if
emergency.
They did announce Combat Pack 1, and you know, there's some names in there. That could do it, I think.
Yes.
I think that could do it.
If one of my top 5 characters shows up in Combat Pack 1, I will call in from work and me and Django will do a Warrior Shrine.
And you know, I'll fucking be there.
Oh, yes.
Listen, you know what characters we want, and if you don't, it's not hard to find out. Man, Nightwolf would be tight, and Smoke. Okay. Thanks for listening. Come join us on the Discord. Come hang out with us and be dicks with everybody else. It's fun. And hopefully you will hear from us before the game comes out. But if you don't, you know, the game comes out a week from Tuesday. Not that long, actually. This time. It is actually coming this time. It's not a Groundhog's Day temp scenario. It's going to be great. So, yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And thank you to all you guys still in here in the live recording thing for hanging out with us. You guys are, you're pretty cool. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Later.
No.